I can start all over again. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Harness Tube. We're in Urbana, Illinois for the Champaign County Fair. I believe we've got, 11?
11 races plus a special event. There's a celebrity driving race coming up. It's race 5B between the 5th and 6th race.
Okay. And so it'll be between races, and we have got 11 other races on board for you tonight. And it's going to be kind of an interesting night, David, as we have two county fair harness racings going on the same day. Lewiston's going on right now, right?
Currently, yep. They started at 5 o'clock tonight.
And and so you've got X amount of drivers, X amount of trainers. And so it makes things, transporters, all those things come into play, right?
And we were talking about that on the way over here is, with the breeding up the way it's been, there's enough horses to cover a couple fairs at once, but you notice that the horsemen get stretched pretty thin. Guys like Jamaica Patton can't be both places at once, and he's probably scheduled to drive a lot of horses at both fairs. So you're going to see some different drivers on different horses tonight probably at both fairs.
Absolutely. And we've got harness racing for you. Post time is at 6 p.m., and so we'll have that. And I know as we look through the lineup tonight, to let people know what's going on as far as Harness Tube's concerned, we'll let them see what our schedule is, as I can get that off of there. We're in Urbana tonight, then Lincoln, Sunday, Monday, 1:30 post times for that. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are in Charleston for the Coles County Fair. And then August 5th and 6th, we're home for the Brown County Fair. 2 o'clock post times for those. We want to encourage all the people from Brown County to come out live to watch racing that day.
Absolutely. Nothing replaces the live thing, What we're offering is just something in place of going out to the fair for somebody who can't make the trip. But if you're anywhere near the neighborhood, just pop on out because it's a good time.
It is a great time. And so those are the things we've got going on with Harness Tube.
Yes.
And then Labor Day, we'll have the Illinois Classic horse sale over in Springfield.
Yep, that details are still being worked out, but the Illinois Classic approached us wanting us to do some coverage over there, and we thought, hey, that'd be a really good time. So we've been spitballing some ideas and come up with some game plans, and hopefully we can be there for you guys broadcasting live.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that intrigues me is that you get deeper into harness racing, then you want to know, well, what's a horse cost? How do they do this? And us giving the auction out there would not only be good for horse owners, but for that fan out there that just wants to get more knowledge.
Yeah, I think last year we were sitting there at the sale, and by gosh, we didn't see Dusty and Emily Buss walk by. And I don't know if they came over specially just to watch the sale, but they hung out and watched quite a few horses sale, kind of got a feel for what's going on and went about their day. But, yeah, this is kind of bringing it to you if we can.
Absolutely. Again, we're just a few minutes away from post time. We're about 27 minutes away. We've got some things here for you. Again, with that, our schedule's up on the board, but we also want to give our sponsors some time here, the people that help advertising-wise to keep these broadcasts for free.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate. We've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we're in Urbana, Illinois for the Champaign County Fair. Just talking with Lisa Surratt. She probably works harder than we do
She does.
to bring you as good a picture as she can get. She has moved that tripod around umpteen different ways and worked with it umpteen different ways, practicing here probably for, what, the last hour?
Yeah, she's been really fine-tuning that. You know, the poles present a problem, but they are what they are, and you just kind of got to find the right spot between them, and hopefully you can kind of avoid interfering with the race, image.
Well, David, let's talk about like, subscribe, and follow. People can like and subscribe and follow us.
Absolutely. Please, we ask you to like, subscribe, and follow all three. If you go to our YouTube channel, and if you don't have an account with Google or anything, you can create a YouTube account. But if you have any kind of associated account with a Google account, you can use that to log in, and then you hit the subscribe button, and from that point on, anytime we go live, you will get a notification saying, hey, Harness Tube's online. It gives you about a half an hour heads up till we first race.
And how many subscribers do we have now?
Oh, 360. Does that sound right?
Okay. Folks, we need to get to 1,000.
We're not quite there.
Yeah. What you need to do, if you've got more than one person in the family, have your whole family sign up for it, because there are things that YouTube does for us once we get to that 1,000 subscribers.
So if you are a husband and wife combo, maybe sitting at home or something, and you both have accounts, do us a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button with both accounts, and that just helps us out. Like you're talking about, it helps us get some things with YouTube once we reach that 1,000 subscriber plateau.
And one of those is our own login. So it would be like youtube.com/HarnessTubeIL, and you'd be able to find us even easier than you can now.
Right.
And so with that, we want to do that. The other thing we want people to do is a thing called From the Backstretch. Tell them about that.
So From the Backstretch was this idea of, that's really where the fun happens. That's where my memories were made. That's where I think most horsemen kind of cherish. And we want to experience that whole backstretch feel, the horsemen's camaraderie, the community aspect. In doing that, we're asking you to reach out to us. Let's interact. If you're watching a broadcast, shoot us an email and ask a question, or let us know who you're rooting for, or where you're watching from, or if you're doing anything special for it, or how much you appreciate it, or what you might like changed. Any kind of feedback is welcome, and doing it live on the air makes it a little more personal for us to talk to somebody instead of just talking to a microphone, and then somebody's talking back to us too. So it's just really a nice way of kind of bringing us all together.
Absolutely. We hear from several people, or we'll probably hear from Rick and
I'm sure they might be at Lewiston actually.
Okay, well they may be watching us yet too. Okay,
on their phone in Lewiston.
On their phone in Lewiston.
You know what? That's a cool too, because if the horsemen who are, let's for instance Jamaica, who might be, not able to make the trek here and has to be up there with his horses, if he pulls open his phone, he can watch his horses race, over here from over there.
Absolutely, and we've heard from Mississippi, some barns in Mississippi, Pennsylvania. Several states
Wisconsin,
we've heard of.
Yep, New York, I've seen. There was a new country that popped up, and I can't remember what it was, but might have been Peru. It was South American for sure, but down around the Argentina, Venezuela area where we had
South Americans really like harness racing.
They do. The UFC, what is he? The light heavyweight champion is a huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Argentina, I believe. So it catches on in pockets across the world, and I've mentioned Nikola Jokic and his fascination with standard breds and Tim Tetrick and whatnot. So it's one of those things that once it bites you, it's infectious.
It is. It's entirely infectious. If you come out and watch it, you get to know some of the owners or trainers or drivers or other fans.
And you had a really good idea after our last broadcast of I should put together some bios for these drivers and trainers and whatnot, because any more we can personalize this to the viewers, I think the viewer's going to have more interest. If you know a little bit of backstory about the driver and maybe what his interest or investment is in winning that race, or that horse, it kind of just paints a little better picture.
And it's a great example. I mean, Jesse Patton's story is a great story about this young man who was in Mississippi and migrated up to Illinois to do training, and now owns one of the biggest barns in Illinois.
It's so cool, the JP story. I came up here as a kid, right out of high school, like I said, and the way the timing kind of worked with the exodus of some of the trainers and the people who stuck around, and he had a barn and he had stalls to rent, and he filled up, and now he's one of the hardest working guys in the sport. He races everywhere he can possible. It's a success story, It's kind of hard to put in perspective, but I try to tell people, I liken it to the horsemen up here in Illinois from Mississippi. These are the ones that made it. These are the ones that have gone on to be, the bigger purses, because down there they might race for, their pooled money together, but this is a race program that they all kind of participate in and have for 20 years. And so, we really appreciate everybody coming up, and to see a success story like Jamaica or any of the Pattons, to be honest.
Or somebody we're not going to see tonight, Doc Renard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a story in itself.
There's a story, yeah. There's more of a story there than you know. His ways, he has the horses out in a paddock, and I think he just hitches them to a post when he harnesses them and throws the jog cart on and goes and exercises them by himself, just hitched to a post, no barn.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, his methodologies are maybe a little old school, but hey, he's been successful.
And so those are just some of the stories that we're going to try to work on so that you can get to know these drivers, trainers, owners a little bit more. And we've talked about our young nursing lady who owns Sour Grapes, and I would imagine Sour Grapes has won a lot, and big races. I look forward to maybe going to the state fair and seeing
absolutely
that one run.
Julie Collins, he's referring to, she's had a blast. She jumped in last year and bought, her first horse being Fox Valley Kia, who went on to make, I think, $130,000 and was state champion. Just having the time of her life now. She's got more horses. She's following around the circuit and just enjoying these animals in the community and the sport, and she's having fun, we're having fun. It's kind of the stories you want to write.
Absolutely. So if you've got a story that you want to send us, or just a shout out, we'd love to hear from anybody that's out there tonight. Just go to Gmail, harnesstube@gmail.com. Send David a note, send him a picture if you want to send him a picture.
Anything, great.
We'd love to hear from you all about what's going on. And you love harness racing, and maybe you have some friends that maybe you're not familiar with harness racing. Have a party. When Harness Tube is on the air, have a party over at your house and introduce them to harness racing, and it may be a new activity that you and your friends can do together. And so with that, we'll be back after these messages.
Come join us for the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale, to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th, at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th, at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get ready for pre-race. Kurt Becker, the announcer tonight. He's done a couple announcements. We'll try to catch up with things.
I don't think we missed anything as far as scratches and driver changes. There will be some. There's some double-duty driver that I'm sure we'll have to get some changes on, and we'll get those to you as fast as we can. We are up here in the booth, so we can't quite hear.
If you have friends and neighbors who
is.
were unable to make it to the fair this evening, you might want to send them a text or give them a call and alert them to the fact they can still follow the races live online. Our friends at Harness Tube, an all-new venture this summer from up at Mount Sterling, Illinois, they are here tonight. They being David Brink and Steve and Lisa Surratt. They are here to bring you live coverage all night long of the entire program. And all you have to do to follow along is go to youtube.com. And once you go to YouTube, just enter Harness Tube in the search field, and that will take you to the Harness Tube channel. Good to have our friends at Harness Tube here providing the live stream for those who are unable to attend in person here this evening.
Back with you, Steve Surratt, David Brink. Want to thank Kurt Becker. He's been a big supporter of ours, but also, I tell you what, this thing's been going on since 2020 with COVID, with other people doing it, shooting video so that others could watch it during COVID.
You know, I just bumped into Joe Mullins down here. He's in the grandstand, and he was wanting me to say hello to Dad. So hi, Dad. But you know, he was kind of asking what was going on. I gave him the backstory. I said, you know, when COVID hit, the horsemen just couldn't see their horses race anymore, and how frustrating that was. And then when we were racing at Springfield last year and there wasn't any streaming service, it just, the horsemen kind of are so used to it in today's modern world that, you know, it's something we've been working on. But these people carried us for 3 years, volunteering to Facebook Live races. Everybody on the screen has stepped up huge, and we thank them all individually. Absolutely.
Absolutely. We want to thank all those forerunners. And, you know, we have that in every sport and everything. Somebody who started something and then it moved from there. And harness racing is a deep history sport.
Yes.
I mean, it goes clear back to, what, the 1800s, doesn't it, David?
I mean, they've been racing horses as long as they've been hitched to buggies. You know, there's no doubt about it. The covered wagons going across the West, you know, that they raced. It's human nature. You know, you put two animals against each other and try to say mine's better than yours. But, you know, the fairs actually, the county fairs actually grew from horse racing and harness racing, you know. I think we were saying the Coles County coming up was 168 years old, and Mount Sterling's 100, or Brown County's 150 this year. Yeah, you know, the history is so rich, and to figure out what we need to tweak and update and modernize to bring it into today's world, it's just something that we're trying to do here with Harness Tube, and just trying to figure out how to bring the excitement of you know, these county fair horse races to our viewers.
Well, and to give an example, David Brink, your family has been involved for several decades in harness racing.
Yes. You know, Dad's been doing this, I think, 60 years, we said, or 55, 60 years now it's coming up on it. It's outrageous, the traditions that are rooted here, and the people that are sitting in the grandstand today have probably been sitting here every fair for 50 plus years. You know, it's something that once you're into, you're into deep, and you love it.
All right, with that, we'll take another quick station break before Kurt starts talking again. You're listening to Harness Tube on YouTube.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Back with you on Harness Tube, Steve Surratt, David Brink with you on this evening's broadcast, along with Kurt Becker, the track announcer, and Lisa Surratt, doing all the camera work. She's doing all the heavy lifting, David.
She is. She's down there working her little tootsie off, and here we are up here in a nice little air conditioner.
Yeah, we have to admit to something that we're sitting in a glass enclosed air-conditioned booth doing our part of the program, and Lisa is out in the grandstands.
Now, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 170th Champaign County Fair. Big night of harness racing lined up, getting ready to go. First race coming up in about 9 minutes at the top of the hour. We'll take a look at the early program changes in just a moment. At this time, we ask that you would please rise as you are able for our national anthem. All right, folks, unbeknownst to me until right now, I actually had checked earlier today, and I was told there would be no one to sing the anthems. You may have a seat. Marty, if I understand you correctly, there is an anthem singer who's on the way. Is that right? Is she en route? Folks, you may have a seat. We have now been informed we will have a singer for the anthem in just a moment. So we apologize for the confusion. Have a seat, sit back, relax. Our pre-race ceremonies in a moment.
And you know what? Kurt Becker is so smooth. We can take those unprompted, unscripted changes, and they just flow so smooth in his mic work.
Let's take a minute, David, to talk about the generous donors that have helped us put this on the air free for people.
You know, when this all started out, my thinking was that it was going to be paid for with advertising and filling up the race time, or in between race time. But everyone's been so appreciative, and these individuals on the screen have stepped up and opened their pocketbooks and offered monetarily, and it's blown me away. It's been so helpful. It lets me kind of know what people are thinking. I'm getting some notes and some feedback with some stuff, and I just want to thank everybody on this list. Thank you, because really, this has been a lot of the foundation of Harness Tube is the donorship, and it's blown me away.
Well, and me the same way, because I'm used to broadcasting ball games where advertising is the key. But I will tell you, even in BC Hornet Sports, that I've got some faithful followers that are just appreciated, that occasionally just hand you some money.
Isn't it funny
to help the broadcast, because they appreciate these broadcasts so much.
Yeah, we've almost proven the point that this sport is still alive and viable in this state, and the people are out there and they're wanting to spend money. No one's making money in this sport racing horses, and they're willing to spend it on more. So, I think it's great, and I appreciate everybody. And so if you're listening on here, thank you.
Okay, and then how can they donate, David?
Donation's easy. Both Venmo and PayPal. You can just search for Harness Tube, like on the screen, and it'll pull up my account, and you can just submit a donation that way, or what most of them have been P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling. Cut me a check, or however you'd like. Drop it in the mailbox, and I check that regularly and try to get those updated. So, yeah.
And I know Kurt's going to come back on in just a few moments there. They're trying to get some things ready.
I'm glad you're watching him. I'm watching the horses and whatnot.
I kind of watching him when he's got the mic in his hand. When he doesn't have the mic, we're clear.
We do have a good
We're
view
on the
of that.
opposite side of the track this time, and so again,
As we get ready to go racing here shortly, we still need entry fee payment at the judges' stand for the Connections of Crazy Awesome. Connections of Crazy Awesome. Entry fee to the judges' stand, please.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We were just talking about success stories from these Southern horsemen, and I totally neglected and forgot one of the best examples out there right now. A young individual, 25-year-old named Jordan Ross. He's a Tennessee native, but the Southern guys all kind of came up at the same time. His grandpa, I remember Graham Ross, around these fairs around here, was a horseman for years and years and years. And Jordan kind of had some success at Hoosier over in Indiana, and was selected to be the representative from the United States in the World Driving Championship this year. So he gets to go compete against some of the best individuals from across the world on behalf of the U.S. And I mean, what a better testament to a success story of kind of people, Jordan coming up from Tennessee, Jamaica's up here from Mississippi.
We do need to get the program started, so Marty, we're going to have to go ahead. We've got to have our pre-race ceremonies and get the field called out for the first race. So
the Southern Horsemen are just kind of getting their notoriety finally, and it's great to see.
At this time, now it is time for our pre-race ceremonies. Thanks for being with us. We ask that you would please rise as you are able for our national anthem. Our own Marty Alanya will present the national anthem, and here she is now. Marty?
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well done, Marty Alanya. Thank you so much for presenting our national anthem. Folks, thank you, and special thanks to all of our veterans here tonight, because without that service on behalf of our country, we would not be able to freedoms and gather to go racing at the fair. So thank you, one and all. The first race, there are several driver changes. We'll go ahead and give you the program changes. Horseman, you may come to the track with the first race here this evening, the top line for Pacers age 3 and older, the Walter Atchison Memorial. In the first race tonight, driver change on the 2, Coach Mamacita. That'll be Rick Schrock. Number 2, Coach Mamacita. The driver is Rick Schrock. Driver of the 3, Mr. Nut and Nice, will be Jordan Patton. That's number 3, Mr. Nut and Nice. The driver is Jordan Patton. Driver of the 5, Fox Valley B Gump, will be Richard Finn. Number 5, Fox Valley B Gump, make the driver Richard Finn. In the second race this evening, driver change on the 6, Miss Larry. That'll be Matt Avenetti. That's race 2, horse number 6, Miss Larry. Make the driver Matt Avenetti. Third race, driver change, number 3, Slim's Final Filly, Chris Brown. Third race, number 3, Slim's Final Filly, the driver Chris Brown. No changes in the fourth race. Race 5, driver change on the 1, Luling City, will be J.D. Lewis. Race number 5, number 1, Luling City, J.D. Lewis will be the driver. Celebrity race is race 5B, no changes there. Race number 6, driver change on the 2, Gabby's Lady, John Smith. That's race 6, horse number 2, Gabby's Lady, John Smith, the driver. No changes in the 7th race. In the 8th race, driver change on the 2, Trident Born, that'll be Jordan Patton. That's the 8th race, number 2, Trident Born, Jordan Patton. No changes in race 9, no changes in race 10, none to report in race 11. Again, horsemen, come to the track with our first race. We get started tonight, folks, with the Illinois Top Line Stakes, the race for Pacers age 3 and up. The Illinois Top Line is open to the world. It's open to Illinois-bred horses. It's open to horses no matter where they were bred and raised. So come to the track. Race 1, the top line, a long-standing tradition dating back to the 1930s, all the way back to the 1930s here at the Champaign County Fair for the Illinois top line. A reminder that we will play Pick a Winner here at the Champaign County Fair this evening. Our Pick a Winner ushers are ready to get you registered. They are right in the center section of the grandstand up above the walkway. Stop by and see our Pick a Winner ushers. It's $1 per entry, and we will be pulling names for cash and prizes throughout the course of the evening. If you want to get signed up for Pick a Winner, it's $1 per entry, and the ushers are seated near the railing, center section of the grandstand, up above the main walkway.
Okay, David, I ought to have the changes for the drivers in the first race is up there, but I'm going to ask you to do one thing. If you would turn on the lights down there.
Okay, I can do that.
It's got dim up here, and I can't see my sheet.
Well, we might need to plug something in. Or unplug something.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is the...
Yeah, we can't unplug.
That's their wireless receiver. Let's not touch that.
Okay. Well, we can't unplug Lisa or anything.
Still waiting for one more pacer to come to the track.
I'll tell you what, we'll make do with what we got.
Okay.
And race 1, horses are now on the track. Horses are on the track, and the post parade is forming up for the first race this evening, the Walter Atchison Memorial, the top line for pacers age 3 and older. Let's meet the starters. Number 1 is Candy's Fortune, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City, trained by Freddie Patton Jr., Denarius Dorch in the bike. 2 is Coach Mamacita, owned by Brian Lohman of Broadlands, Chad Wendling of Broadlands, also Mark Flessner of Elmhurst, trained by Kevin Miller. Contrary to the program, the driver is Rick Schrock. Number 3, Mr. Nut and Nice, owned by Charles Hurst Jr. of Houston, Texas, trained by Roshan Trigg, the driver Jordan Patton. 4 is Coach Cutzinger, owned and trained by Kevin Miller of Arthur, co-owned by Brian Lohman of Broadlands, the driver Wyatt Avenetti. 5 is Fox Valley B-Gump, owned and trained by Kevin Miller, contrary to the program, Richard Finn in the bike. 6 is Mock Diesel, owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis, trained and driven by Jill Brown. And 7, Yankee Bounty, owned by the Kleinert Properties Incorporated of David Kleinert of Mount Sterling, the trainer Tom Simmons, and the driver is Phil Knox. Well, already we've had the Queen pageant for the Champaign County Fair. We've got our newly crowned royalty. Let's turn it over right now to Katie and Mackenzie. Let's hear from our newly crowned Queen. Katie?
Hello, Champaign County. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We're so excited for the harness races. My name is Katie Landers. I'm your 2023 Miss Champaign County Fair Queen.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Holson. I'm the new 2023 Little Miss Champaign County.
We're so excited that you all are here tonight, and I would like to take this moment to invite you to tomorrow night's grandstand event for motorcycle races. And without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off.
Good luck.
Be safe.
Have fun.
Don't look back. Leave it all on the track. Thank you, guys.
Katie, thank you, and Mackenzie, thank you, and that is always good advice. Don't look back, leave it all on the track. I like it. That is excellent advice as we get set to start this evening's harness races. Katie brings up a great point. There's all kinds of racing coming up this week at the fair. The motorcycle races coming up tomorrow evening. I was sad that I think I already missed the Demolition Derby. Was that last Saturday night? Yes. The demo derbies are always so much fun. I've loved those ever since I was a kid, and I know they've always got a great one here in Champaign County. Right now, the horses are over on the backstretch, turning toward the starting gate, getting ready to go here this evening in our first race.
Well, David, we're almost ready to start here as they're getting close to the gate there. We have got 7 horses. I think that's almost
It's a busy night for harness racing in Illinois. They are also racing at the Fulton County Fair in Lewiston tonight. Our starter here at Champaign County is Mr. Mitch Titus out of Charleston. A.J. Sherry is at the steering wheel of the starting gate. Mitch's wife, Denise Titus, is our photo finish technician. We are ready to go. Right now, the field swings around that far turn. Getting ready for the first race, 1/8 of a mile from the start. Harness racing at the Champaign County Fair. On behalf of Bill and Marty, Alanya, Brian Lohman, and the whole gang, Linda Allhands, thanks for being here, and the tradition continues. In a beautiful start, they are off and pacing. Fox Valley B. Gump fires out for the lead. From the far outside, Coach Cutsinger is right there, and Coach Mamacita saving the ground. Quickly gets over next to the inside lane and drops down to the inside to save that ground around the first turn. Coach Mamacita, Coach Cutsinger, they go side by side here early on for the top spot, and then Fox Valley B. Gump, who is racing third toward the outside as they move off the first turn and up the back stretch. And then Candy's Fortune is in the 4th position. There goes Fox Valley B. Gump now, clears with the lead. Coach Cutsinger is racing in 2nd. Coach Mamacita is in 3rd. Candy's Fortune is 4th. 30 seconds flat, solid opening quarter. Good pace here for that opening quarter as they swing around that far turn and work their way toward the 3/8 mile mark. Fox Valley B. Gump was parked around the first turn, but then cleared with the lead and shows the way and leads it by 1.5 lengths as Coach Cutsinger is racing along in the 2nd position. And then Coach Mamacita, who is 3rd, followed closely as they move by the half by Candy's Fortune, who moves up 4th, now 3rd on the outside. Mock Diesel 5th back toward the inside. Yankee Bounty in the outer flow in 6th position. Mr. Nut and Nice is last of the 7. 102 for the first half mile. 102 flat. It is Fox Valley B. Gump leading Coach Cutsinger. Candy's Fortune 3rd up on the outside. Coach Mamacita, who's in the 4th position, is next. And then Yankee Bounty 5th up on the outside. Mock Diesel, Mr. Nut and Nice further back as this field of pacers heads on toward the 3/4 mile mark. And Fox Valley B. Gump is the leader. Fox Valley B. Gump is leading it by 2 lengths to the far turn as Coach Cutsinger goes 2nd by 2. 1:34 was the time at the 1:30 and 4/5. Wow, that was a fast third quarter. 1:30 and 4/5 was the time at the 3/4 mile mark, and they turn for home. Fox Valley B. Gump is the leader by 2 lengths. Coach Cutsinger to the outside from 2nd. B. Gump has the lead, though. Fox Valley B. Gump with Richard Finn. Fox Valley B. Gump to win the opener at the Champaign County Fair. 3 lengths. Coach Cutsinger was home 2nd. Mr. Nut and Nice rallied for 3rd. Mock Diesel was 4th. Candy's Fortune was 5th. And then Coach Mamacita 6th. And Yankee Bounty was 7th.
Okay, David, did we hear what the final time was there?
I did not hear it, no.
Okay, well, we'll get that updated for you in a moment, folks, when that happens. Again,
the time for the mile, very fast, 1 minute, 57 seconds flat. 1 minute, 57 seconds flat.
Wow.
Sizzling time for the mile to get things started here this evening in the Walter Atchison Memorial, the top line for Pacers age 3 and up. We'll meet the winner in just a moment. That was number 5, Fox Valley B. Gump. Horsemen come to the track with race 2. Race 2 come to the track.
26-1 last quarter.
I mean, so, David, I think that's the fastest time we've had as far as broadcast is concerned this year.
I'm pretty confident. Yeah, that's a big mile. We used to see those, every so often, but I haven't seen one in a while. 57 flat. 3/4, 1:30 and 4.
I mean, no. Should be 2:30. No.
No, I'm just the math. The last quarter seems monstrous.
Yeah. No. Got to do this. Hang on. I think I got to edit something here.
We start this evening with a winner that trains right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. Kevin Miller, the owner and the trainer of number 5, Fox Valley B. Gump. And he teams up with Richard Finn as his driver here this evening. Fox Valley B. Gump has just won for the 31st time in his career. Wow, folks, we've got a nice update for you here. Marty Alanya was kind enough to check the all-age track record at the Champaign County Fair. Before tonight, that track record, which was set back in 2004, was right around 159. 159-1 by a horse named Armbro Barnes. You are looking at the new all-time Champaign County Fair track record holder, Fox Valley B. Gump. 157 flat. Atchison family trackside, race 1, the Walter Atchison Memorial. The Atchison family, they have been consistent supporters year after year of the fair and of harness racing. We appreciate that so much as we remember Walter Atchison. And not only do we remember Walter, but we do so with an all-time track record. You think about the fact that the Champaign County Fair has been host to harness racing dating back into the 19th century. That's amazing. And not only broke the track record, but shattered it. Full field rundown coming up. And here is the full field rundown for that first race. It is now official from the top of the page. Candy's Fortune finished 5. Coach Mamacita was 6. Mr. Nuttin Nice finished 3. Coach Cutsinger was the runner-up. Fox Valley B. Gump, the winner. Mock Diesel finished 4. And Yankee Bounty was 7. The opening quarter in 30 seconds flat. The first half mile in 1:02. 3 quarters in 1:30. And 4/5, and the time for the mile, 1 minute 57 seconds flat. New all-time, all-age track record, 157 by better than 2 full seconds. That's the new record. It reads down 5:63, 2:147. Race 2 coming up. A reminder, Matt Avenetti drives the 6 Miss Larry, and I bet you Brian Lohman's pretty close to being ready to play pick a winner for that first race.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Come join us for the 25th annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
David Brinks, Steve Surratt, Lisa Surratt on the camera action tonight. Kurt Becker, your track announcer for the evening in the first race. And boy, that one flew by, didn't it?
It did fly by. 57 flat is a monster mile. But those are high quality horses, so you know, I kind of expected a big mile. But wow.
You sure somebody didn't cut a corner there?
Well, I was just talking to somebody else who was texting me and said that there's a 32-second second quarter and a 26-second fourth quarter. It just seemed like, I don't know if the pole's maybe not in the right position, but wow, that's a monster.
Now stepping to the microphone to call race 2 this evening, we welcome Mr. Jeff Pribble. Jeff, good to see you.
Thank you, Kurt, for letting me have this honor of calling the races. I called them last year, and I wanted to be involved this year again because this second race is a memorial race for our son. Tomorrow will be the 2nd anniversary of his passing. So the Champaign County Fairgrounds and the Champaign-Urbana Elks, which we're both members of, were kind enough to support this. And if you're going to try to fill the shoes of an announcer, Kurt Becker's not one of them you want to try because he's been around, done a little bit of it all, now getting back to his roots, and it's nice to see. He's been all over the state covering County Fair races, and I'll see if I can't get him up here a minute and kind of chew the fat with him a little bit. Thank you to all the supporters for the Champaign County Fair. Can't do it without saying a special thank you to Bill and Marty Alanya. Good to see Bill doing great after some medical issues. Couldn't do a harness racing program without an Alanya involved. Second race coming up, it's the CU Elks Lodge number 2497, Glenn March II Memorial Pace. Field of 7. The only change is horse 6.
I'm going to cut away real quick because here's the thing with me. We've watched the Avenatti boys race each other a couple of times this year, and that's usually a pretty interesting race in itself.
There's no playing games on the track. It's everyone for himself for sure. Siblings, parents, I've seen it all.
And so this will be an interesting race. Again, 7 horses in this race. We've got 7 in the third race. And then we dropped to 5 for a couple of races. But I'd say this is the biggest racing card, one of the biggest we've had for the year.
This front end's got a full of races. You know, we have a couple different associations. You see the Top Line and the Illini both racing. So that's 2 different pools of money being raised for it. It attracts different horses for sure.
$3,000 purse on this particular race. And they're doing a good job of getting this track ready. It's still pretty dusty, though.
But they keep applying water, and they have the equipment here to do it. It's just finding the right schedule for how much is evaporating versus how much is put on. And
record 1:57.4 for the mile, breaking the old record of 1:59.
We just broke the record.
Yep, by 2 seconds.
They closed in 27 seconds. If you know anything about harness racing, that's picking them up and laying them down.
No, it's 1:30.4 for the 3/4, and then.
Yeah, I think he said the mile is 57.4. I kind of caught him catching the end of that, but maybe not. Either way, it sounds like it's a track record. They said it was 59, I believe, is what he was saying.
Yeah, and I saw that. I kind of knew that because the thing over here on the side.
There, okay, I'm reading it now. So your trotting record looks like 2-2 and maybe 4 from Source of Oz, Jerry Logan's horse back in 2001. Looks like the pace record is Armbro Barnes 04, 1:59.1. So we beat that today for sure. No matter what it was, they beat it for sure. I guess we have a moment. I'm going to jump out and say shout out to Julie LaFour. Julie just actually donated to us, but said she was watching from Indy. Big fans of racing, no matter what kind, car or horses. So shout out to Julie. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely, folks. We enjoy those shout outs and hearing where you're from and so forth.
And the ones that come with money just weren't bad either.
No. we accept Venmo,
Absolutely.
PayPal, and the good old checks. P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois, 62353, so that we can keep going, free of charge to the watchers. I mean, and this is a great thing. You're letting us know that you appreciate what we're doing and that we can keep continuing to do it. We've talked about this before. People don't understand the prep time. We were here 3:30 this afternoon because we've never been to the Champaign County Fair. So fortunate, everything went smooth today, and so we
really smooth.
Yeah, we had some sit around time, got some carnival food, and we're doing good. Thank you to all the people that make it possible for us being there, not only the donors, but the people working with us at the track. The sound man met us here.
Yes,
got us set up and did great. We're in a we have never been in this situation yet. This is new. We're up in the reviewing stand, or what I would call it.
We have our own press box.
Press box with air conditioning. Yeah. And
you got to keep pointing that out.
Poor Lisa, the camera person, is down. We've got her in the best spot we can get with the fewest obstacles. A lot of these what I call old grandstands, have wooden posts, and so you've got a lot of wooden posts.
Minor technicality, but we'll meet the field for the second race. A 2-year-old filly pace, a Illini 2-year-old filly pace. Number 1, Delight Moon. The trainer is Tom Simmons, the driver, Phil Knox. Number 2, Hermes Star, trainer Fred Patton and the driver Jordan Patton. Number 3, Paradise Tomorrow, the trainer is Kevin Miller, the driver Wyatt Avenatti. Number 4, Gorgeous American, Cornelius Cabot is the trainer, Jordan Patton is the driver. Number 5, Dandy's Gratitude, Denarius Dorsch is the trainer and Denarius Dorsch is the driver, that is the 5. Number 6, Matt Avenatti drives Miss Larry, trained by Tanner Salzgeber. And number 7, Illini Judy, trained and driven by Richard Finn. This is a 2-year-old filly pace going a mile, and they'll come postward here in just a moment. Sorry for the delay. Little battery change for the microphone.
I'm glad we're not in the judges' stand over there. Not a whole lot of room.
No, it's become very crowded over there, and we've worked in that small a space before with several people.
The photo finish is up there, but they could flop us over here if they needed to. But the people at the table, I don't know if that's, you can't tell who's all over there. That was Linda Allhands. It's a full stand. It just is. And a guest announcer too, you know.
And so, again, I'm going to pull that mic down because I can hear some of the things being said over there as he didn't get the microphone off, and I'll wait for him to put the mic back up to his mouth.
You know, we talk about Kurt being a pro, and it's little stuff like that people don't realize. He's back up, I think.
Titus and the starter's car get the second race underway.
When someone's a good broadcaster,
Field of 7.
You don't notice them. You know, that's the key, right? You don't notice them at all. They just, it's the story of the game or the show or whatever. But
guest announcer.
Guest announcers, trust me, I did it this year. It's not easy.
You weren't a guest announcer, though. You actually got paid to do that.
Well,
First race was a top line race. This one, the Illini 2-year-old filly pace. They hit the top of the stretch. At the top of the stretch and down the stretch they come, and here they come for race 2. Out quickly from the 1 is Delight the Moon. On the outside is Hermes Star. Parked wide is the number 4, Gorgeous American. They hit the first turn. Now they'll fall in pace and off stride on a break. Rough gated. Their number was number 4, Gorgeous American. At the top of the backstretch, Delight Moon is in the lead. They come behind it as Hermes Star in the pocket. He races second. Number 3 is Paradise Tomorrow. They hit the first quarter in 32 flat. 32 flat, and holding firm on the front end is Delight Moon and Philip Knox. As they look to come by the grandstand for the first time, leading the way is Delight Moon. Now pulling to the outside, saying hello is the number 7, Illini Judy, driven by Richard Finn. He's got him parked out there a little bit, still holding firm. Now he looks to drop in a little bit. They're all bunched up from front to back. Still parked on the outside is the 7, Illini Judy. 102 and 4, 102 and 4 to your half. As they go up the backstretch, Delight Moon is holding firm. Illini Judy backing off a little bit. That lot of pressure on that coming first over for darn near a half. They near the 3/4 mark. On the front is Delight Moon. 134 and 4. As they look to come around the stretch for the first time, Delight Moon and Phil Knox is holding firm. Now we've got a horse coming from the outside. They're putting a little pressure. Down the stretch they come. Delight Moon. Delight Moon is held firm, and Delight Moon will take it by a length over Hermia Star, who finishes second. 2:04 and 1 for the mile. We'll have your official rundown here momentarily. Say hi to our celebrities up here. Kurt Becker, Brent Behrens from Channel 3, and Irv Miller, I see, has made an appearance. One of the nation's best trainers in Irv Miller.
I didn't see him yet. You never know who's going to show up at the Champaign County Fair. We got.
Did we get a time on the mile?
I did not get a time. I didn't think they announced it.
Okay.
I didn't catch his name. But he did a good job.
Now the fun part, I get to step down as a member of the Champaign-Urbana Elks and the father of our son who passed away, and present the blanket for the second race to the winner, Phil Knox and Delight Moon.
Race number 2 winners. Come to the press box to receive your prize. First winner is Steve Vaughn. Come up to the press box to receive your prize. Second winner, Alicia Beck. Alicia Beck, come to the press box.
Here comes our winner of the second race, the 2-year-old filly pace, CU Elks 24.97. Glenn Marsh, the second Memorial pace. At 2:04 and 1 was the unofficial time for the mile. Phil Knox driving a Tom Simmons trained horse. Rare you see a 2-year-old mind his manners, but maybe Delight Moon is a little winded. Yep. Congratulations to Phil Knox. Put them on the front end, they're going to go.
Absolutely, yep. Make them beat you, make them catch you.
How much work do you get with horses when you do catch drives at fairs and such?
I try to get as many drives as I can. You know, I talked to Kurt the other day, I love coming out to the fairs. This is the grassroots of racing and everything. This is where it all began. And without all the support we have here, you know, we couldn't put on a show without the fans.
Well, you don't get to a Meadowlands pace without first going through a Champaign County Fair.
You're exactly right. I'm on my way.
Congratulations, Phil Knox and Tom Simmons, the connections for the second race at the Champaign County Fair. Official times and order of finish here momentarily.
Again, I want to remind people when I put the finishes up there, those are not official.
And we can't hear anything over here.
That was a quick guess.
We're subject to the announcement like everybody else.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well done.
As they kind of get some things, switch the microphone back.
And thank you, Jeff Pribble. Here is the full field rundown. It's official for that second race. And as Jeff said, congratulations to our winning connections, Glenn Bauman of Mulkeytown, Bonita Simmons, the owners of Delight Moon, and Tom Simmons, the trainer, and Phil Knox, the driver, Kyle Houston, the breeder. Second win career for Delight Moon. Here's the full field rundown. It is official from the top. Delight Moon, the winner. Hermia Star, the runner-up. Paradise Tomorrow finished 5. Gorgeous American 3. Dandy's Gratitude was 4. Miss Larry finished 7. Illini Judy was 6. The opening quarter in 32 seconds. The half in 1:02 and 4. 3 quarters, 1:34 and 4/5. And the time for the mile, 2:04 and a 5th. It reads down 1:25, 3:47, 6. Third race is coming up. A reminder, the driver of number 3, Slim's Final Filly, Chris Brown, Number 3, Slim's Final Filly, Chris Brown will be the driver. A reminder, folks, you can sign up to play Pick a Winner. You can do so right at the railing above the center section near the press box. That's where our Pick a Winner ushers have been located. They can get you signed up for $1 a piece, and we will be playing Pick a Winner throughout the course of the evening for all kinds of prizes. Good to have you with us on a Tuesday evening at the 170th Champaign County Fair. Third race is on the way, the Phil Tier Memorial. Got word a moment ago that Parkland Community College athlete joins us in the stands tonight. Brooke Runge, who just graduated in May from Parkland, was a member of the women's basketball team there. So, Brooke, good to welcome you to the Champaign County Fair. Third race is coming up.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
David, we want to tell people how they can advertise with us as far as Harness Tube is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Just reach out to me, however is convenient for you. If you have any kind of interest, I'm trying to work a list of people I have who might be interested. But if you have any interest, reach out. Email, Facebook, whatever, text, call. We'd love to put more ads in here. I like talking and kind of having the banter with you and whatnot. But this is an opportunity. We do have an audience, and so if you have a message, we'd love to put our message into our broadcast.
Yeah, we're seeing. At race time, anywhere from 600 to 1,000 people at race time, a lot of times 1,000. And then at the end of the week or end of 2 weeks, we're seeing 1,500 views on there. So we do have an audience.
It's one of the things that is so enjoyable about coming out to the county fair. A lot of times folks will ask, well, what is it you enjoy about going to races at the county fair? Well, number one, of course, is the great racing, as we've seen already here this evening. And it's also fun to get reacquainted with folks, make new friendships. It's fun this evening to meet Mr. and Mrs. Jeff Pribble. Jeff is a name I've seen in the program over the years as an owner of Standardbreds. Just never had a chance to say hello and shake hands and get to know him. So been great to catch up here this evening and get to know some folks and enjoy racing in the most marvelous setting, the county fair, pure Americana.
Absolutely, we want to encourage people to get out. We've got some county fairs coming
Phil
up.
Knox in the winner's circle, between Phil Knox, the winner's circle interview, and then Kurt, we can't script this any better. These people believe in the fairs. They really do. They love it. It's a way of life. It's it gets in your blood. You can't describe it.
Well, if you're wanting to get back to pure Americana, as Kurt was saying,
just threw out there, yeah.
and true family entertainment with the rides and the grandstand shows and the fair food and things like that.
And the exhibitions,
Yeah.
The produce grown in local, gardens and farms and whatnot. All that kind of stuff is, that's the root. That's what we're coming back to.
And in Champaign County, we're still rural America here, but some of these inner city Champaign kids
probably never
go
seen
to
a
see
horse
a
up
sheep
close,
or a goat or a horse or things like that, and let your kids experience it. I go back to my son when he went to a show the first time, and he had never seen ram goats butt heads together. So, all right.
And when people don't see these horses and kind of how they move, it's impressive. They're big, sweaty animals, and they're, it's a lot of muscle, 1,000 pounds out there going around the track.
Absolutely. And so with that, we're getting ready for race 3. We'll have that up on the screen here for you. Can't stay too long. Baba's last call. We've seen that horse with Wyatt
last call, yeah.
Several times.
Got a win last outing at Petersburg with us too, yeah. So
Major Rosita. I think we've seen Major Rosita in a few races this year.
I think highlighted Major Rosita here to take this race. You know, Phil's hot now. He just won the last race, and in this game, confidence is everything. You know, you make decisions better whenever you're thinking confidently. So I'd say Phil and the 6 horse be pretty tough in here. But then again, Wyatt off the 2. You never know.
Yeah, the 2 and the 6 are the ones, and if you're looking at
and this is Kevin's home track. Yeah, Kevin's going to perform with his horses, so I would.
Horses are on the track for the third race. It is the Illini Colt Stakes 3-year-old filly Pace, the Phil Tier Memorial.
Correct.
A reminder: Chris Brown drives number 3. Slim's final filly. Chris Brown will be the driver. A purse of just over $2,600, a race day payout of $971. If you're curious why there is a race day payout as differentiated from the full purse, it's because that on race day, the horsemen are racing for the stakes payments that they have paid into the system. They had to nominate these horses for these county fair races earlier this year. So today the payout is essentially what the horsemen have already paid into the purse. Then the balance of the purse is processed in the coming weeks by the Illinois Department of Agriculture. Let's meet the starters for the third race. Number 1 is Can't Stay Too Long, owned by Charles Hurst Jr. of Houston, Texas, trained by Roshan Trigg, Freddie Patton Jr. in the bike. 2, Bappa's Last Call, owned by Lester Detweiler of Sullivan, co-owned by trainer Kevin Miller of Arthur, Wyatt Avenatti in the bike. Number 3, Slim's Final Filly, owned by Jesse Judy of Potomac, Walk on Water Acres LLC of Richard and Bethany Finn, now of Altamont, trained by Richard Finn. Chris Brown is the driver of number 3. 4 is Frontier Molly, owned by Jesse Judy and Walk on Water Acres, trained and driven by Richard Finn. Number 5, Incredible Lorraine, owned by Three's a Crowd Stable of Norm Thompson, Allison McGrew, and Jody Peacock. Three's a Crowd Stable based in Cantrell, trained and driven by Rick Schrock. 6 is Major Rosita, owned by Carla Santos of Springfield. The trainer is Dossie Miner. The driver is Phil Knox, as Phil goes for back-to-back wins on the card. Number 7, Ashley's Nicky, is owned by the Big Hank Farms, LLC, of Henry Daniels Jr. out of Jackson, Mississippi. The trainer, Cornelius Cabot, and the driver is Jordan Patton. Headed to the starting gate for this evening's third race. While we're thinking of it, a big shout out to our good friend Candy Herzog. She is an owner and breeder of horses along with her husband Brian. They are here tonight, and Candy was kind enough to spend a lot of time whipping up some confections in her kitchen, and she brought a whole big pan full of cookies and other goodies for the racing staff tonight. So, Candy, we appreciate that. Very thoughtful and very kind of you indeed. Right now, getting set to go for the third race on the card.
As we started to say, I mean, I'm looking at this. Major Rosita's had a good season this season racing as we're looking at that. Phil Knox, the driver on that.
You know, if I had to pick, not a long shot, but something besides the 6 or the 2, the one horse has kind of piqued my interest with Freddie Patton. This horse has been pacing last quarter's sub 30 seconds, you know, almost this entire car, 28 flat, 29. You know, I know those are Springfield miles and whatnot, but it shows me that the horse has something in the tank turning for home. It's not just, you know, so off the rail, giving a good trip. Maybe the other 2 kind of duel it out, and you pick up the pieces late. I don't know.
Yeah, let's. It ought to be a really good.
By the
race
way,
here.
in that second race, which just wrapped up, we should tell you that there was a late driver change. Number 4, Gorgeous American, was driven by Cornelius Cabot. In that second race tonight, the 4, Gorgeous American, was driven by Cornelius Cabot. Right now, third race, lined up and on the gate. Mitch Titus, our starter. A.J. Sherry at the steering wheel of the gate, ready to go. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Bappa's Last Call for the lead. Can't Stay Too Long has early speed as well. Frontier Molly gets away in the third position as they swing down into the first turn. Major Rosita moves up in fourth as they race around the turn and now takes third, but Can't Stay Too Long is the early leader. Bappa's Last Call is second. Major Rosita third. Frontier Molly is in fourth. Incredible Lorraine is back there in fifth. Slim's Final Filly is racing in sixth, and Ashley's Nicky is last of the 7. They line up single file, nose to tail, for the move up the back straightaway to the quarter-mile mark, and Can't Stay Too Long is the leader. Can't Stay Too Long leads it by a length and a half past the quarter. Bappa's Last Call is racing along in the second position, and then further back, Major Rosita third. 31-2 was the time for the opening quarter mile, 31 2/5 seconds. After 3/8 of a mile, Can't Stay Too Long is the leader and leads it by a length and a half. Here's Major Rosita. Major Rosita's making a bid for the lead now on the outside for Phil Knox. Major Rosita driving up to the outside of Can't Stay Too Long, who still leads it by a half length, now only by a neck past the half. Bappa's Last Call third, Frontier Molly is fourth, Incredible Lorraine fifth, Ashley's Nikki is in sixth, and Slim's Final Filly last. A minute, 4/5 for the first half mile. 1 minute and 4/5 of a second. Can't Stay Too Long leading Major Rosita by a length around that turn and onto the backstretch once again. Bappa's Last Call is racing in the third position. The top three are separated by a length and a half, now by 2 lengths. Then a gap of 6 back to Frontier Molly, who's in fourth, and Incredible Lorraine is fifth. Ashley's Nikki is sixth, and Slim's Final Filly is last of the 7 as they head on by the 3/4 mile mark. 1:31-2 the time at the 3/4. 1:31-2. Can't Stay Too Long leading Major Rosita and Bappa's Last Call around the final turn. Can't Stay Too Long has the lead and has it by 2. Major Rosita second. Bappa's Last Call is back toward the inside third. Down to the wire. Can't Stay Too Long. Yes, Can't Stay Too Long takes it, leading virtually every step of the way, and won it by 5 lengths on the line. Major Rosita was second, and then it was Bappa's Last Call in third. It was close for fourth, Frontier Molly or Incredible Lorraine, and then behind that pair, Ashley's Nikki was sixth, and Slim's Final Filly was seventh. 2:01-4 was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2:01-4. We'll meet the winner, number 1, Can't Stay Too Long, in just a moment. Horsemen come to the track with race 4.
Another good race there on that. David?
Called that one.
You called that one?
That's the one I said if it's not the 2 or the 6, it's going to be the 1. And Freddie just drove a great race. If you watch closely, Phil got out of there. Phil had the back tier out of the 6 hole. Phil had to leave out of the second tier and snuck right up the rail and got away third in great position. And then opted to come, first over. He tried brushing up the home stretch here and trying to clear by the third turn, and Freddie did a great job. Freddie drove him hard into this turn, but I was watching pretty close. About the end of the grandstand, Freddie started grabbing up and controlling his horse and really kind of driving it and making sure he didn't take a bad step. But, this home stretch was a race that first lap. They were trying to get to that lead, and it just worked, It worked for Freddie.
Absolutely. As we post the unofficial results up on the screen, the times up on the screen. Kurt will give the official times here in a moment as we get ready for race 4. And we're moving right along here this evening as far as racing is concerned. Race 4, we have no driver.
Can't Stay Too Long is a filly which won 3 races a year ago, including a win at the Illinois State Fairgrounds on the big 1 mile track in a very fast 1:54-3, but she had struggled to find the winner's circle this year, but she's been racing in some pretty tough company. She was 0 for 14 on the year coming into this race, but tonight from that inside lane starts right down along the inside and saves ground around all of those turns around this half-mile track and comes home a winner. How about a hand for number 1, Can't Stay Too Long? Congratulations to owner Charles Hurst Jr. of Houston, Texas, breeder the Dandy Farms Incorporated of Jeff Davis of Glenview, Roshan Trigg, the trainer, Freddie Patton Jr., the driver. There's the Phil Tier Memorial Blanket, red with white lettering and trim. Our queen, Katie Landers of Fisher, age 19, ag business major at the University of Illinois, and our little Miss Mackenzie Hulls of St. Joseph, age 8, who attends St. Joseph grade school. They are presenting the blanket down trackside to our winning connections. Can't Stay Too Long, Illinois-bred 3-year-old filly by former Illinois Pacing Styer of the Year, World of Rock and Roll. That gentleman in the race bike comes to us all the way out of Clinton, Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Freddie Patton Jr. And Mr. Patton with a nice wave for the crowd and a nice round of applause indeed from our racing fans for Mr. Patton. The result is official for this evening's third race. And here is the full field rundown. A few more whistles for Freddie Patton Jr. and he salutes the crowd again. Another wave as he heads on back to the stable area. Here's the full field rundown for that third race. From the top, Can't Stay Too Long, the winner. Bappa's Last Call finished 3. Slim's Final Filly was 7. Frontier Molly finished 4. Incredible Lorraine was 5. Major Georgia Rosita, the runner-up, and Ashley's Nikki was 6. The quarter, 31 and 2/5 seconds. The half in a minute, 4/5. 3 quarters, 1:31 and 2, and the time for the mile, 2:01 and 4/5. It reads down 1:37, 4:52, 6. That brings us to race 4. No changes in the 4th race.
Good third race as we head on to the 4th race for this evening. One of the things I've noted here is we have yet to see any of these horses this year in the broadcast that we've done.
This race?
Yep.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
I guess
I
you're
mean,
right.
they're all DeCoin, all, one was at Newton, but we were not at Newton. And
No,
so,
I guess I've been seeing them at Springfield and DeCoin, and I guess you haven't seen them is what it's been. So, yeah.
yeah.
These
So
are all new horses.
Oh, you've been going out on me separately and watching your own races, huh?
Well, sometimes I put Springfield on when I'm working at home in the background and have it on.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so Lisa and I went over to Springfield a while back. If you get a chance also to go, you get to see other horses, and you get to see them on a mile track. That is different than the half mile. How is that different for the horses?
Just the bend of the curve, of the turns is hugely different. The banking of the turns is different. It's basically just a mile-long drag race. There's I don't want to say no strategy involved, but there's less ins and outs and more just kind of 2 lanes of flowing traffic around these fairs. When you're out, on the outside, you go. I can't remember what it ends up equates to. If you're on the outside for a whole lap, it's like 16 feet or something, or 12 feet. So, on the mile track, the horses just can reach that top speed and carry it, the entire time. And so
here's an additional driver change for a race coming up later in the card. In race number 9, driver for horse number 3, Our Sweet Baby Ray, will be Jordan Patton. That's race number 9. Horse number 3, Our Sweet Baby Ray, the driver will be Jordan Patton.
All right, with that, David, we'll take a station break. We'll be back after these messages.
Sounds good.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
David, back with you as we get ready for race 4. We've got 5 horses in this race.
And I will pass along that note Kurt just gave because we were at commercial. There's a heat advisory coming up for the next couple of days. So the Suburban Downs races at Springfield Thursday and Friday will be pushed up an hour. Qualifiers begin Thursday at 10 a.m., followed by race 1 at 11. And Friday's races will start then again at 11 a.m. just to try to avoid the heat.
All right.
But yeah,
well, it's
so
like
on
me
to race
this
5.
morning. I was on the golf course at 7:30 this morning to avoid
nice.
the heat. Guess what? I play so bad. It takes me so long to play. It was burning hot by the time I got done, and I'm not talking about my golf game.
Oh, I'm no better. Trust me, I'm off.
Still waiting for a couple of horses to come to the track. While we have a chance, let's grab a word with Irvin Miller, who joins us here this evening. Irvin, of course, grew up in Arthur and now makes his home in Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, one of the leading harness horsemen of this or any era, the all-time leading stakes-winning trainer in Illinois history, one of only 3 trainers to ever train the winners of $100 million lifetime. Irv, I know you're a busy guy and you log a lot of miles, but I also know the county fairs are where you grew up. How much fun is it to be back at a fair this evening?
Yeah, it's fun to see. I raced at fairs forever. It seems like 10, 15 years, just straight at the fairs. Didn't do much else, but the fairs go way back with me.
And you're going to help out with the celebrity race tonight. We've got 4 celebrity horsemen and 4 celebrities from outside of the racing world. How much fun is it for you to have a chance to be kind of an ambassador for the sport and maybe open the sport up and introduce some folks to harness racing?
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun to get somebody out there that's not done it before. I've done it several times, and everybody has a great time doing it. Yeah.
Well, Irv Miller has done Illinois proud. Irv, I know a lot of folks have enjoyed watching your career, which has taken off like a rocket over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice big welcome back to Champaign County to Mr. Irvin Miller. Thank you, Irv.
Thank you. Yep, thanks. I got my partner right here.
Irv's got it. He said, I've got my partner right here. That is Brett Behrens, who joins us from WCIA, Channel 3, the CBS affiliate right here in Champaign. And Brett, first of all, thanks so much for taking time to come out and cover the sport of harness racing and cover the fair. You were telling me a moment ago you have a genuine appreciation for the world of sport in Illinois, including covering high school sports, and you're an Illinois native yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. Total naive. No idea. Never been out here before, but it's a ton of fun. Really enjoying the time. Thanks to Brian for asking. He asked if I'd be in the celebrity race. I am not a celebrity, and I know nothing about horse racing, but I do like a good time, and it's been that, so thank you.
Has Irv been giving you some instructions while you've been here in the judges' stand?
Yeah, we've been going over a few things. Okay, that's what he said, right? Yeah, we did a live hit here about 10 minutes ago on WCI. It was fun, and I'm here to win. Let's have it. Let's have a good time.
Irv said yes. The instructions are we're going to win. Brett, Irv, all the best. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Irv. And we'll have some fun with that celebrity. Horses are on the track, and we are parading to the post. Thank you, Judge, for the 4th race. It is the top-line race for trotters age 3 and up. There are no changes in this 4th event, the Coble Family Memorial. Number 1 is Shar the Star, owned by Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco, and Rick and Tabby Flacco, trained by Jill Brown. Chris Brown is up. 2, Crazy Awesome, owned by Lonnie Keith of Palestine, trained and driven by Cornelius Cabot. 3 is Maple Grove Mangan, owned by Joe Mullins of Eagle, Wisconsin, trained by Jamaica Patton, driven by Phil Knox. Number 4 is Latin Lover, owned by Lynn Wilfong of Kentland, Indiana, trained and driven by Brett Wilfong. And number 5, Swan of Dreams, owned by the Ham Family Trust of Callio, Missouri, of Willis Ham, trained by David Brooks from up at Cambridge. The driver is Richard Finn. Just about set to go in tonight's 4th race.
David, any comments on this particular race?
You know, I guess this race I'm looking forward to the 4. You know, Brett Wilfong back in the bike. He doesn't drive too often anymore. His son's one of the top drivers. It was the reigning driving champion in Chicago, and is over at Hoosier now in the top 5 or so. You know, I grew up with Brett, friend of the family, so it'll be kind of interesting to watch him back in the bike.
This, like I said, this will be an interesting race for me, as I've not seen a lot of these horses. Char the Star, Chris Brown, Jill Brown. I'm going to make a pick here and see how well I do. You picked a winner a while ago.
Yeah, I did. I'm just going to stay with Brett, the 4-horse Latin Lover, just because. Why not?
Sentimental.
Yeah, I'm going to cheer for him. I'm going to root for him. So.
And sentimental's great when you don't have $1 on the race. Sentimental doesn't work really good.
Well, we can tell Candy Herzog that her baked goods
horse.
are being met with rave reviews here in the infield judges stand. 2 thumbs up from our racing officials, Candy, on
like
those culinary skills. And again, we appreciate it very, very much. In this 4th race, field getting ready to approach the starting gate. Again, the top line circuit is open to the world. You can race an Illinois bred in the top line if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to have an Illinois bred performer. And in fact, as we look down the list, not a single one of these trotters in race 4 is an Illinois bred. Got some Indiana breds, a New York bred, Pennsylvania bred, Indiana bred. So no Illinois breds here, but a nice field of trotters lined up, ready to go. Fields over there at the west end of the track as the sun continues to drop in the sky as we get ready for the 4th race. Top of the stretch, here they come. They are off and trotting, with the exception of Crazy Awesome, who broke stride coming down for the start, but now gets right back onto the trot and will stay close to the field. Shar the Star is off stride, though. Shar the Star just went off stride and now drops out to last as they swing around the east turn. Side by side for the lead. Maple Grove Mangan to the inside. Swan of Dreams to the outside. They go at it for the top spot. Latin Lover is racing in the third position as they head off the east turn and up the back straightaway toward the quarter-mile mark. Then there's a gap of some 15 more lengths back to Crazy Awesome in fourth, and a gap of over 25 more back of that one to Shar the Star, who is last of the five as they race on by the quarter, head up to the west end. 31-2 for the opening quarter mile. 31 2/5 seconds was the time for the first quarter mile. Back up to the front of the field we go, and after the opening 3/8 of a mile, they come on down to the half-mile mark. Still no change in position among those top 3 or 4. Everybody stays right where they've been. Swan of Dreams now on top by 5 lengths as Richard Finn looks over his shoulder back to Latin Lover, and then Maple Grove Mangan, who did lose one position around that west turn and is now third, 15 lengths behind the second-place horse. 59-4 for the first half mile. 59 4/5 seconds. As they head on to the backstretch, further back it is Crazy Awesome next to last, and finally Shar the Star as the field races on toward the 3/4 mile mark. Swan of Dreams has the lead and leads it by 3 lengths after putting away Maple Grove Mangan after that early battle through the opening quarter mile, and leads Latin Lover by 3, by 2. Here comes Latin Lover making a move toward the front as they're midway on the final turn off the 3/4 mile mark. Latin Lover coming after Swan of Dreams. 1:30 2/5 the time at the 3/4, 1:30 2, and Swan of Dreams seems up to the challenge and maintains a 2-length lead. Swan of Dreams, number 5 in front. Latin Lover is second. That's how they finish. Swan of Dreams, Richard Finn in the bike to win it by 2 lengths. Latin Lover was across the line in the second position, and then it was Maple Grove Mangan third. Crazy Awesome was fourth. And then further back, Shar the Star making her way around the west turn in fifth. Time for the mile, 1 minute 59 4/5 seconds. 1:59 4. Very snappy trotting mile, very quick. We'll meet the winner in a moment. Horseman, you may come to the track with race 5.
Steve, if this little, whatever that is, the display, we'll call it, the winner circle display over there, there's a little sign that says track records, and if those are correct, we might have a new trotting record as well. We saw a new pacing record earlier.
And it was 1:59 and what?
This race, 59 4.
Did you get the quarter on that by chance?
31 2.
Okay.
59 4. 1:30 2. And it was announced 1:59 4.
Okay.
But I believe that the record was 2-2 and 4. So we have a 3-second drop, it looks like.
Fast track tonight.
Yeah.
And I mean, the horses are moving. I mean, I noticed that the pace on every race we've had so far has been as fast as what we've had all season.
You know, you see some people sometimes get the front end and then slow it down a little bit and kind of just race home. But they've been racing tonight. They've been racing hard and pushing the miles out. And Richard Finn, you know, was out there by himself going his own mile, and it paid off because Brett couldn't catch him with the 4 horse.
So if you picked the reverse order, then you got it right. 1 finished 5, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, and the 5 number 1 is what I have down. And so just complete reverse of the way they were in the starting order.
It is a testament to the track and how good a condition it's in, how well these horses are able to cover it. You know, Brian Lohman, Kevin Miller, the stable back there on the backstretch, does a great job taking care of it. I saw Daryl Miller, maybe somebody else out there earlier today with picking up rocks on the track, walking the track, and you know, the entire track, picking up every little rock they could for the horses. So, you know, a big shout out to them.
And I know some people wouldn't say this is a big crowd, but I have to say this is one of our bigger crowds for the year.
You know, maybe the far end of the grandstand past the finish line is a little more sparse, but you know, the home stretch end is really pretty full.
And here's what I like. You've got kids out here watching.
Oh,
and I mean, as
kids,
kids,
you know, they don't have to know what's going on. They just have to get excited, right?
Absolutely.
Well, folks, earlier tonight in the very first race on the card, we broke the all-age track record when Fox Valley B Gump went a mile in 1:57 with Richard Finn in the bike. Guess what? Richard Finn, you now have the all-age trotting track record. Here's the fastest trotter ever at the Champaign County Fair, 1:59.4, Swan of Dreams. And David Brooks is the trainer of this horse, which has won the Coble Family Memorial Blanket. Swan of Dreams, Indiana bred, 6-year-old gelded son of Swan for All, owned and bred by the Ham Family Trust of Willis Ham from Callio, Missouri. Richard Finn has come here ready to race tonight. He teamed up with Kevin Miller in the first race for the all-age pacing track record. He teams up with David Brooks here in race 4 for the all-age trotting track record. David, Richard, congratulations to you both. Well done. Congratulations.
Hey, David, I have to say, that's a nice-looking horse there.
That is a nice-looking animal. You know, the Swan for Alls are an Indiana bred, but they have a look to them, you know. They have a long kind of body and
Here's the full field rundown. It's official for that 4th race. From the top, Char the Star finished 5. Crazy Awesome was 4. Maple Grove Mangan finished 3. Latin Lover, the runner-up. And Swan of Dreams, the winner. The opening quarter in 31.2. The first half mile in 59 4/5 seconds. 3 quarters, 1:30 2/5. And the time for the mile, 1 minute, 59 4/5 seconds. 1:59.4, the fastest trotting mile in the history of the Champaign County Fair. Reads down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Folks, I'll guarantee you that this is an evening that means a lot to Richard Finn. He grew up in a racing family. His father, Rick, was a trainer and driver of harness horses, and Rick passed away in May. And I know that Richard has told us more than once this summer that he takes a lot of pride in carrying forward with the family name. He has talked to us a number of times, shared memories of his father. So for Richard Finn to be able to come out, race on the fair circuit, and carry on the family tradition, and on top of that, have 2 winning drives and 2 track record drives, no doubt, Richard Finn. This is a very special evening for Richard. Race 5 is coming up. J.D. Lewis will drive number 1, Luling City, J.D. Lewis.
All right, let's tell people about like, subscribe, follow us, David.
Yeah, please. You know, if you follow us on Facebook to get the programs or whatnot, go ahead and like and follow us. But you know, the real thing we want to keep touching base on is the YouTube. If you go on YouTube and sign into your account, if you hit the subscribe button, it helps us along. It helps you not have to remember our schedule. You'll get notifications when we're going live and all that kind of stuff. I can send out emails and app notifications. But yeah, so we would love to have you like, subscribe, and follow all those things and kind of get our numbers up a little bit.
All right, and the other thing is send us a note if you're watching us already at harnesstube@gmail.com. We'd love to know where you're watching or
Well, let's catch a
listening
word
from.
with some more of our participants in this evening's upcoming celebrity driving race. That is in your program as Race 5B. Folks, we all have a lot of respect and greatly appreciate our first responders, and it's fun to have Damon Dade, our Urbana Fire Chief, here this evening. Damon, first of all, welcome to the fair.
Thank you. Glad to be out here.
So you're going to team up here soon with Mr. Wyatt Avenatti, who's been out there racing tonight. Have you had a chance to get any instructions on this celebrity driving race?
Yeah, they told me to hang on.
That is always good advice, to hang on. Well, Damond, I tell you, part of the fun of a county fair is when folks from the community come out and take time to get involved, and we know that you're someone that you've got a lot on your mind, a lot of very serious responsibility. We appreciate what you and the whole staff do with the Urbana Fire Department. Thanks for being here, and we're looking forward to seeing you race.
Thank you. Thanks for having us out.
Thank you. That is Damond Dade. He will be with Wyatt Avenatti and Fox Valley Gump. Rick Schrock is in the stands. We talked to Brett Behrens earlier, the Channel 3 sports announcer. Rick is actually the horseman that's going to team up with Brett. Although, Rick, I'll tell you what, Irv Miller was giving Brett a few tips earlier, And I guess if he's going to get advice from both you and Irv, he's getting some good advice. Never hurts to have Irv on your side, does it?
Oh, absolutely. If Irv gives me advice, I probably won't say nothing.
Well, we know you have trained and driven a lot of winners and a lot of stakes winners yourself. Hey, I want to ask you real quickly while we've got you here. You've got a 3-year-old trotting filly in your barn that I think is a fascinating filly because she just keeps getting better and better. Her name is Radiant Diamond. She's won a couple of races at the Illinois State Fairgrounds this summer. We've talked about the fact she comes from a long line of Illinois State Fair champions. What is Radiant Diamond like to be around? What's her personality like?
She's got a kind of a very good personality. She's in the front of the barn. She's so to speak, I guess the barn favorite or whatever. Everybody that comes in, she puts her head out. She wants attention. Every once in a while, she'll pin her ears, and act like she's tough. But if you pet her, that's it. But overall, she's a pleasure to be around and jog. Very nice to jog and drive.
Well, every time we see you on the track with Radiant Diamond, for a lot of us who grew up going to the state fair, we think back, there have been something like 5 generations of Illinois State Fair champions in that filly's maternal pedigree, and it's pretty special to see her. And I know you enjoy the fair circuit and the Illinois State Fair, which is right around the corner. We go racing there starting on August 10. So, Rick, thanks for taking time to be here tonight.
Hey, thanks, Kurt, for everything you do.
Thank you. That is Mr. Rick Schrock. His name shows up as Richard Schrock in the program, but he is known as Rick to his family and friends. More in just a moment.
Well, let's talk about horse personality. Kurt brought up a good point there. I mean, Lisa was telling you a story on the way through of a horse that's in your barn or the
out the Brown County Fairgrounds,
Bowen Stables out there that kind of gave her a little scare the other day, popped its head out, and to get the attention. But what about horses like he's talking about? This horse sticks its head out, wants attention.
Rick's got a barn that's, I don't want to say a good hangout spot, but it's kind of in a good quiet location. I think he uses stall gates so the horses hang their heads out. You see a lot of horsemen kind of hanging out by his barn. But I think that's the tone there, right? He just mentioned that Radiant Diamonds kind of hangs her head out and wants attention. And I think once the horses get used to that, they kind of want to welcome the people as they come in the barn. They kind of want to be the little welcoming committee and get their scratches and their pettings and everything like that.
Do you think those horses react better when they're out here in public and racing because they're used to the
there
public?
are both ways. You can go either way. There's horses who would prefer to be left alone. We had a horse named Western Perch we raced, and if anyone came in the barn, he would go stand in the corner and put his butt to you. Doesn't matter who it was. He just didn't want to talk to you. But that's just how he was,
Stuck-up horse, huh?
He just wasn't very social. He liked certain people, and that's about it. He tolerated others, but he wasn't a mean animal. He just wasn't very friendly. But, some horses are playful. Some horses are all
Folks, while we
business.
have a chance, let's hear from our Superintendent of Speed, Mr. Bill Alanya. Bill?
Thanks, Kurt. I'm Bill, as he said, and I just wanted to say thanks for coming out. This is a great night, and boy, the track records are just wonderful. But my main reason to be up here is my wife is having a birthday in about 4.5 hours, and she never gets to celebrate it because it's always during the horse races every year at the fair. So tonight, we're going to have this young lady celebrate her birthday, and maybe everybody could sing her a happy birthday. Marty, sing something.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Why don't you sing it? Happy birthday. Tomorrow, it's my birthday tomorrow at 4:26, but I'm gonna be sleeping. That's my song.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. She and I have been pestering each other for more than 43 years, and one of these days we'll get it figured out. Thanks.
You're so
I got to turn the microphone off. You haven't figured out how to turn it off yet. But only at a county fair.
Only at a county fair. Gotta love it,
Horses, are they kind of like dogs in the fact
Still
that
waiting for another horse to come to the track. Let's talk to more of the competitors in our celebrity driving race. Terry Lemke is the Champaign County Fair Association Fair President. Terry, first of all that goes on at this fair and all the hard work it takes for everybody to get involved. On behalf of the horsemen, a big thank you for all that you all do to keep racing as part of the program. I know the horsemen appreciate it, the racing fans appreciate it, and you're going to be right there in it coming up. Are you looking forward to this celebrity race?
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to do it. So,
all set to go, and I know you've been up here observing. The Queen had a good comment tonight when she opened the program. Our Queen said, how did she put it? Don't look back, leave it all on the track. Do you think that's pretty good advice?
yeah, I'm not going to look back. Even look forwards. I don't know. I may close my eyes. I'm not sure yet.
The chief steward is saying just go to the front and improve your position. Well, Terry, we're looking forward to seeing you out there here very shortly.
All right. Thank you.
Lemke, he's our fair president. And folks, one thing we've learned over the years is that a lot of times individuals who were athletes themselves, they really take an interest in sports like horse racing. And we mention that because, folks, it is an honor to have all of our celebrities here tonight and joined now by an individual that you will remember from his days as a Fighting Illini basketball player. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Mr. T.J. Wheeler. Hello, T.J.
Hey, how are you?
Good to be with you here this evening. TJ, you and I were just talking. I know that my father, who went to school in Illinois, graduated there in the 1950s. My dad always had great respect for Coach Lou Henson, and I didn't realize, I knew you had played at Illinois, but I didn't realize you played for Coach Lou Henson. If you don't mind my asking you, what was Coach Henson like to play for?
You know what? He was an unbelievable coach, an unbelievable teacher. I can honestly tell you the four years I played for him, I never heard a cuss word. He was very polite. Now, granted, the other assistants got in you pretty good when you knew did something wrong. But, I mean, rest in peace, Coach. He was one of the best that's ever been around college basketball.
During your time at the University of Illinois, I know that there can be some pretty intense rivalries in that Big Ten conference. Do you remember any opponents, whether a school, an individual, or a game that particularly stands out in your mind?
Yeah, when I came to school, it was that whole Bruce Pearl Iowa scandal. So kind of from 1990 until the present day, I hate Iowa, I hate Bruce Pearl, I hate Auburn, I hate anywhere Bruce Pearl's ever been. So anytime you can beat Iowa, even today, is awesome. I want nothing to do with them. I hope Auburn goes 0-32 this year. So me coming to school was right in the middle of I would call it Bruce Pearl, Deion Thomas scandal. Deion would tell you he's forgave him. I'm like, good for you. I haven't and never will.
We said it could be intense, folks. Absolutely. Well, TJ, you think what is it like for a young man to step out onto that floor at Assembly Hall? What was that whole experience like to wear that jersey for the Illini?
I always tell people I grew up in the state of Illinois. It was an honor for me to play for my university. There's not a better university in the state, so it was an honor for me. The amazing part is now when me and my wife go back to a game and Illinois gets on a little 10-12-0 run, I get cold chills because I know when we were doing that run, I couldn't wait to shoot the next shot because if I hit it, the crowd was going nuts and you got 16,000 people that's on their feet. So it was an honor. I'm still honored to this day. Even when we go back, I get cold chills.
TJ, it's always fun for all of us to have a chance to catch up and say hello to anyone who has worn that Fighting Illini jersey, and we thank you for taking time to join us at the fair tonight. We want to wish you all the best in that celebrity race.
Thank you very much.
TJ Wheeler, ladies and gentlemen. This is fantastic. We have racing officials that are now talking to TJ and remembering specific plays and specific games, and he's having fun reminiscing about it. That is what is so much fun about the county fair. It is such a fun atmosphere, and anytime that you come to the Champaign County Fair and you have a chance to catch up with a former Fighting Illini, it makes for an extra special aspect to the program. So TJ Wheeler, he'll be competing here soon in that celebrity driving race, which is in your program as race 5B. Right now they are at the post and the gate is rolling for race number 5. This is the Gene Lamb Memorial, and it's been a lot of fun to visit with members of the Lamb family. Gene Lamb was chairman of the Illinois Racing Board. Folks, that was the man who worked with Breeders' Cup to bring the Breeders' Cup to Chicago back in 2002. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after this race wraps up. Here they come right now for race 5. They are off and trotting in the Gene Lamb Memorial. There goes Luz Rona for the lead. There goes Smoking on Pizzazz, fires out from the outside. Luling City gets away in third, down toward the inside. Luz Interceptor is in fourth position. Ain't No Mojo returns to the races after a near 7-week layoff and is away racing in fourth. Moves up one spot from last as they head on to the back stretch. And that means as they head toward the quarter, Luz Interceptor will back up to the back of the pack and will be the trailer. It is Luz Rona who's the leader. Luz Rona is on top, leading Smoking on Pizzazz by a length. Luling City is racing third. Good to see J.D. Lewis back in the race bike here this evening. And then further back, Ain't No Mojo is in fourth. And finally, it is Luz Interceptor last. 33 seconds for the opening quarter, 33 seconds flat. Race 5, the Illini Colt Stakes 3-year-old trot, the Gene Lamb Memorial. After 3/8 of a mile, the field works their way toward the half, and now it's side by side for the lead. Smoking on Pizzazz is moving up to challenge Luz Rona, and that's going to be a 3-wide shuffle. Here's J.D. Lewis with Luling City moving fast out in the center of the racetrack. Luling City moves up, clears everybody, and is clear with the lead back into the east turn and gets over to the inside lane, leading it by 2 lengths. 104 for the first half mile, 104. Luling City opens up on a 3-length lead. It is Luz Rona in second. Ain't No Mojo is gearing up, swings to the outside third, around Smoking on Pizzazz in fourth. And finally, Luz Interceptor, who trails as they head toward the 3/4, and Smoking on Pizzazz broke stride. Smoking on Pizzazz broke stride on the backstretch. There's a 1/4 mile to go, and Luling City to catch. Luling City on a 5-length lead to the final turn. Luz Rona second, 3/4, 1:34 and 4. 1 minute, 34 and 4/5 seconds. Coming off the west turn to the top of the stretch, Luling City, the leader. Luling City with a widening 7-length lead. Back to Luz Rona second, Ain't No Mojo third. No catching Luling City. J.D. Lewis returns to the race bike and returns a winner after several weeks away as Luling City cruises on home and wins it by 7 lengths. Ain't No Mojo second in his return to the races with a solid effort. Luz Rona was third, Luz Interceptor fourth, and Smoking on Pizzazz fifth. Time for the mile, 2:03 and 3. 2:03 and 3/5 of a second. We'll meet the winner in just a moment. And horseman, a reminder, we will have the celebrity driving race coming up next. Horseman, a reminder, the celebrity driving race is up next.
That's the end of race 5 as we move on down the race card. And again, we'll put up the unofficial finishes on there as Luling City wins that race. The number 2 horse finishes third. The number 3 horse finishes second. Number 4 finishes fourth. And the number 5 finishes fifth. Luling City, driven by J.D. Lewis.
Yeah, J.D. got in the bike. He's been, I think he went down a month or so ago in an accident and is kind of just getting back in the bike. So good to see him out here.
So with that, we've got that.
Well, the members of the Lamb family are moving trackside. We talked about the fact that the late Gene Lamb was chairman of the Illinois Racing Board. And it was when Gene Lamb was chairman, Gene was one of the first people to speak up and say, why have we never had Thoroughbred Racing's Breeders' Cup in Chicago? And everybody said, because it can't be done. There's no way logistically that can happen. And Gene Lamb said, yeah, it can. And he worked with Breeders' Cup and brought that premier thoroughbred event to Arlington Park, and that was a tremendous moment for Illinois. We remember Gene Lamb, and we remember Gene with this race for trotters. How about a hand for the winner, number 1, Luling City. Jerome Daniels of Springfield, the owner-trainer of this DeJarmbro filly. J.D. Lewis had been involved in a racing accident back in June at the Schuyler County Fair at Rushville. He had not been back to the race bike since then, so it is wonderful to see that Mr. Lewis is back racing with us. JD, good to have you here tonight, and congratulations on this win and your return to the races. And Mr. Lewis shaking hands with Joe Lamb and other members of the Lamb family. Folks, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for all that Gene did for racing. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Appreciate it. Judge, are we official with the full field rundown? He says, sure, we're good to go. Here it is from the top of the page for race 5. Luling City was the winner. Lou's Rona was third. Ain't No Mojo the runner-up. Lou's Interceptor finished 4. And Smokin' on Pizzazz finished 5. The opening quarter, 33 seconds. The half in 1:04. 3/4, 1:34 and 4/5. And the time for the mile, 2:03 and 3/5 of a second. The celebrity driving race is coming up. That is race 5B in your program. So come to the track with the celebrity driving race, please. Folks, good to have you with us. More racing is on the way.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Come join us for the 25th annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Back with you on BC. Step back on Harness Tube.
That's okay.
As we get ready for the celebrity race in this contest tonight.
This will be interesting. I don't know what to think.
Once again, come to the track, please, with the celebrity driving race, race 5B in the program.
We've got the celebrity races.
The celebrity driving
celebrities
race
up there that we've met each one of
Bill
them
and
as
Flo
Kurt
Corey
Becker has
Memorial.
talked with them.
They've all been up here, I think so, haven't they?
A lot more racing yet to come here this evening, folks. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, the Champaign County Fair has a lot more coming up this week. As you will recall, our queen, Katie Landers, reminded us tomorrow evening we've got motorcycle races at 6 p.m. Tinsley's Amusements up and operating on the Midway throughout the week. Thursday night, the Monster Trucks at 7. Friday, the brothers Osborne and Matt Stell perform live. And then Saturday, you got a doubleheader. Illinois Tractor Pulling Association at 12 noon and the Illinois Pullers Association at 6 p.m. So a lot more yet to come this week at the 170th Champaign County Fair.
I like Matt Avenetti's horse here. Creme de Loup Creme.
Creme de la Creme.
Creme de la
De la
Creme.
Creme. I got to go the 2-horse.
Fox Valley B. Gump.
And what was his name? Demon Day, the fire chief that got interviewed. He kind of acted like he wasn't too scared. He kind of knew what he was getting into. I would expect that between him and Wyatt and that horse's talent, that's my pick.
Once again, come to the track with the celebrity driving race, please. Race 5B. Come to the track.
And I think
while we have this brief intermission, Horseman, a reminder, we want to not only remind you but clarify something which was announced last week at the races at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. As you make plans on the county fair circuit for upcoming race dates, this coming Sunday on July 30th, the Effingham County Fair at Altamont will host the inaugural Jeffers Memorial Stakes. Horseman, we had made the announcement last week that any Illinois conceived and foaled 2-year-old is eligible to compete. That's only part of it. There is a condition which says any Illinois conceived and foaled 2-year-old which was nominated to the Illinois County Fair Circuit. So if you have an Illinois-bred 2-year-old that was nominated to the statewide fair circuit, you're good to go for that Jeffers Memorial. And if you've got any doubt in your mind, the list of eligibles has been posted on Facebook at both Illinois County Fair Racing and on the Horse Talk Today page. A lot of racing is coming up next week, because you have not only the Effingham County Fair at Altamont, you've got the Logan County Fair at Lincoln, you've got the Coles County Fair at Charleston, and then at the end of that week, on August 5 and 6, the Brown County Fair at Mount Sterling. So things about to get real busy, and of course we still have racing this week, Thursday and Friday, at the Illinois State Fairgrounds.
And then, David, on Brown County, one of the things I saw in their ad, it's a Downstate Classic or something like that?
Downstate Classic 2-year-old divisions at Mount Sterling this year. Yeah, that's an added stake, an added program, if you will, that you pay into to race for a little bit bigger purse. And I don't remember what the estimated purses are. I probably have it with me, but I think they're close to like 8,000 maybe at Mount Sterling for some of those stakes. It gets up there. 11,000. I was wrong. 11,000 for the Downstate Classics estimated purse. So, yeah, that'll be a fun show for sure. Our home track too. That doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt at all. In fact, it's going to be kind of nice to be close to home.
Yes, it will.
2 o'clock time on a Saturday and Sunday of that week.
Looks like they are doubling up in jog carts over there. See them coming on the track.
Yeah.
This will be interesting.
If Lisa she'll probably get a closer look at them. I see she's trying to zoom in on some of the horses.
I don't know what their Pick a Winner contest. I haven't been paying super close attention, but they have some cool signs and some cool prizes given away. It looks like they have some Champaign County harness racing shirts. I saw a horse on the back of it, and looks like maybe the fair logo on the front. So there's some pretty cool swag gifts, given out here just playing the Pick a Winner. Oh, here they come.
Horses have entered the track from the backstretch stable area for race 5B in your program, the Celebrity Driving Race, the Bill and Flo Corey Memorial. Field of 4. It will be 1 mile, just as we see throughout the course of the evening for all of our other races. The Celebrity Driving Race will also be a contest, 1 mile in distance. And each of our celebrity drivers will be participating by sitting right next to a seasoned, experienced horseman. They will share a 2-seat cart so that the full-time horseman can offer tips and kind of coach and guide each of our celebrity drivers. So they're about to work their way around the east turn of the racetrack and parade to the post here in just a moment. Always a lot of fun to change gears just for a moment, and a great way to invite a lot of friends from the community to get directly involved with the fair and more specifically with this great sport of harness racing. Meet the starters in just a moment.
Before Kurt chimes in, we have a change in the horseman driver of the one, Coach Mamacita. Looks like Irv Miller, Kurt just said.
Yeah, because he interviewed her.
Yeah. And
I noticed that Demond Dade, the Urbana fire chief, he gets the benefit of driving Fox Valley B. Gump. That's the horse that broke the all-age track record in our opening race this evening. So maybe an advantage there of sorts for Mr. Dade. Let's meet the starters for the Celebrity Driving Race. Number 1, Coach Mamacita. That is Irvin Miller. There's Irv. And there is Terry Lemke, our Champaign County Fair president. There's number 2, Fox Valley B. Gump. Demond Dade, our Urbana fire chief. Number 3, Coach Cutsinger, Brett Behrens from Channel 3 Sports, the CBS affiliate in Champaign. And wrapping up the field is number 4, Creme de la Creme, T.J. Wheeler, former University of Illinois Fighting Illini basketball player. Our 4 celebrities, along with Irv Miller, Wyatt Avenatti, Rick Schrock, and Matt Avenatti, headed to the starting gate.
This is cool.
Yeah,
it's. I will admit, our presiding judge was just pointing out that he finds it interesting that my being a Saluki, I've been in a position to talk a lot about the Fighting Illini this evening. I will say this: I will always be grateful for the experience I had at Carbondale. It was a good experience. With that said, My late father went to school at Illinois, and that is one regret that as the years went by, I envied little brother because my younger brother, Chris, went to Illinois and graduated there, and he and Dad always were able to share that bond. Like if the family would go to a Fighting Illini game, I always envied little brother because he and Dad, you know how when at halftime they'll stand up and they'll sing the alma mater song, the school song, and I didn't know the words. But there was little brother and Dad, and they could just spelt it right out. So a lot of fond memories of the University of Illinois over the years, even for this Saluki.
I'm trying to remember the young man's name. He's not young anymore. That was one of the last Chief Illiniweks in for the University of Illinois. That it was from Jacksonville, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember either, but I remember his picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. David was
at the post, and the gate is rolling for the celebrity driving race, the Bill and Flo Corey Memorial. A reminder, it is Irv Miller with number 1 seated alongside Terry Lemke. You've got Wyatt Avenatti on number 2, seated next to Damon Dade. Number 3, Coach Cutzinger is where we find Rick Schrock assisting Brett Behrens, and number 4, Creme de la Creme, Matt Avenatti and TJ Wheeler. Will it be the fair president? Will it be the fire chief? Will it be the sportscaster? Or will it be the former Fighting Illini basketball player who wins the celebrity driving race? We're about to find out. Here they come. And a beautiful start for all, and Creme de la Creme will fire out from the outside and take the early lead. Wyatt Avenatti positioned alongside of TJ Wheeler there with number 4 as they head around the first turn. So despite the fact that he was programmed on number 2 with Fox Valley B-Gump, Wyatt instead has taken a seat alongside of TJ Wheeler with Creme de la Creme, and they have the early lead as they head up the backstretch and race toward the quarter-mile mark. But here comes Coach Cutzinger. Coach Cutzinger and Brett Behrens of WCIA moving up on the outside as they move by the quarter, and Coach Cutzinger has taken the lead past the quarter by a length and a half for Brett Behrens. And that means Creme de la Creme and TJ Wheeler now find themselves in second position. 36-4, the time for the opening quarter, 36 and 4/5 seconds. So, coming off the west turn, Coach Cutzinger and Brett Behrens with a bold move on the backstretch, and they have the lead. But here comes a challenge for the lead. Matt Avenatti is moving up with Fox Valley B-Gump and Damon Dade, the Urbana Fire Chief, to come forward and challenge for the lead as they go on by the half-mile mark. So Damon Dade on the outside, Brett Behrens toward the inside. Those two celebrities contest the lead, followed by Coach Mamacita with Terry Lemke on the outside in third. 1:12 for the opening half-mile, 1 minute 12 seconds flat. They head on to the back straightaway, and in the meantime, Creme de la Creme and TJ Wheeler, they have gotten the shuffle down toward the inside, all the way toward the back of the pack and last now as they head toward the three-quarter. But everybody's still in here with a shot. It's just 3 lengths from front to back. And it is a 3-way shuffle for the lead as they head to the far turn. You've got Rick Schrock with Coach Cutzinger. Brett Behrens is the celebrity in that race bike. They are going at it with Fox Valley B-Gump and Damon Dade. Now those two side by side. 3/4, 147 and 1. 147 and 1/5. Around the final turn they go. Damon Dade, the fire chief on the outside. Brett Behrens, the sportscaster on the inside. And then Terry Lemke is right there. TJ Wheeler's right there. It's wide open. Here's the wire. Brett Behrens wins the celebrity driving race. Brett Behrens, sportscaster with WCIA, the Channel 3 CBS sports affiliate in Champaign. Brett Behrens, partnered with Rick Schrock, has won the celebrity driving race. We'll sort through the full field rundown and recap it for you in just a moment. Time for the mile, 2:17 and 2. 2 minutes, 17 and 2/5 seconds. Know what I like about that? That's a standard record mile right there. The United States Trotting Association says a standard record mile has to go in at least 2 minutes, 20 seconds or faster, and our celebrities did just that, 2:17 and 2. Folks, did you enjoy the celebrity driving matchup? We're glad you liked it. We appreciate all of our celebrities. Terry Lemke, our fair president, Damon Dade, our fire chief in Atlanta, Brett Behrens, the Channel 3 sports announcer, sportscaster, and TJ Wheeler, the former Fighting Illini. We appreciate all of those individuals, and thanks to our horsemen, Irv Miller, Matt Avenatti, Rick Schrock, and Wyatt Avenatti for their assistance. We'll meet the winner in just a moment.
Well, David, that was an interesting race.
That was a good race. I mean, they stayed tight, they stayed bunched up, and Irv kind of got shuffled out the back, but still was 3 wide in the stretch. It had pace. So
well, it looked like the fire chief had a pretty good grasp on that bar in front of him. He followed instructions well. They told him to hold on, right?
I will say when they came through the post parade, going just jogging the opposite direction of the track, I would say 2 or maybe 3 of the celebrities were holding the line.
Yeah, but they weren't in the race.
Not in the race. No. But still, that's a cool experience for them, right? Be able to have that.
And here's the other thing I want to point out here. 3 out of the 4 horses are trained by Kevin Miller horses.
Yeah.
And the other one was David Avenatti.
Huge thank you to those guys for stepping up and helping us provide us with horses. The Avenettis are a local family that Kevin Miller trains here at this fairgrounds.
And all of our celebrity drivers are returning in front of the stands. Folks, awesome. How about a hand for each and every one of these drivers?
It's hard to find horses that someone will
We're going to get a
race.
picture with all of our celebrity contestants here. There's the winner, Brett Behrens, seated alongside of Rick Schrock. Damon Dade alongside of Matt Avenatti. Terry Lemke seated next to Irv Miller. And then Wyatt Avenatti and TJ Wheeler.
Needs some horsemen to catch horses.
Our trackside winner circle photographer is Denise Titus. Horseman, a heads up. I know a number of you are on the racetrack to warm up, and we understand that, but just a reminder that there is a ceremony taking place along the inside lanes of the home stretch. Just a heads up as you work your way around the track. There is a ceremony involving 4 horses, several horsemen, and our 4 celebrity drivers as we get everybody positioned to take a picture here at the Champaign County Fair. Fun at the old fair this evening. Water truck is working its way down the home stretch.
Yep, he needs to stop.
Getting everybody repositioned here, moving them as best as we can off the actual racing surface and getting them lined up here along what is actually the arena here on the infield portion of this half-mile track layout. It was Brett Behrens who came home the winner, but not by much. Damon Dade was right in there a close second. TJ Wheeler was third, and Terry Lemke came home fourth. It couldn't have been more than just a couple or 3 lengths that separated our 4 celebrities at the finish. There's the blanket, the Bill and Flo Corey Memorial. There's our queen, Katie Landers, and our little miss, Mackenzie Hulls, making presentation of the blanket and offering their congratulations to our winner. All right, folks, whoa. Hang on. Rick Schrock. Rick, who did you have with you on the bike there? Because I'm starting to think that these didn't line up at all the way they were programmed. Shocker. Was that Terry? It was our fair president who jumped on board with Rick Schrock. The steward says he's disqualifying all of them. Well, let's give credit where it's due. Terry Lemke, our fair president, he had switched mounts, and he got the win with Rick Schrock. Whatever is said in the program, take that and throw it right out the window, folks. It didn't mean a thing. Wasn't even close to how they actually teamed up for that race. Doesn't matter. We're just here to have fun with that race, right? One more round of applause for our celebrity drivers. Well done, one and all.
Awesome.
Yeah, I get the impression that maybe they just drew names and numbers out of a hat back there and just really didn't pay attention to the fact we actually had them lined up a certain way. But that's all right. That is all right. The main thing is they all had fun. Everybody came home safe and sound. So congratulations. It was actually Terry Lemke, our fair president, the winner. And again, he drove number 3, Coach Cutsinger. 6th race on the way.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you as
Yes,
it reminds me to turn the volume on. I'm going to take a quick break here. David, you can kind of take
Horsemen,
over
come
here
to the
for a
track,
minute.
please. Race 6, the Illini 2-year-old trot, First Division, the Marty Williams Memorial. Hope Starlene, Gabby's Lady, Luz Esmeralda, and Madam Full Charge. A reminder, John Smith, the driver of the 2, Gabby's Lady. John Smith drives the 2, Gabby's Lady.
Welcome back to Harness Tube. This is David Brink, and we'll wrap up that celebrity race, race 5B. What an exciting race. Huge shout out to the trainers, Kevin Miller and Dave Avenatti volunteering their horses. It's hard to find guys who will put up horses for a $0 purse to try to just help kind of publicity. But, judging by my take on the stands reaction and how things were going, here live in person, I'd say that was a huge success. A lot of people were really kind of rooting for their local favorites, and
Folks, this reminder, if you're playing Pick a Winner and your name is called as a winner, when the MC says come to the press box, that is the grandstand side of the racetrack. No Pick a Winner prizes here. The Pick a Winner prizes are available at the press box at the top of the grandstand, not the infield judges stand. Thank you.
yeah, and what a treat, to have Irv Miller in that celebrity race. I don't think he was programmed to be here, but a late addition and a huge welcome. A local horseman, and as he said, he raced exclusively at the fairs, as I can remember in my childhood. Before those of us in the business will remember before he changed his colors, if you will, when he was around here at the county fairs. He drove a lot, and then he grew and grew and grew and had catch drivers, and now, as Kurt pointed out, he's one of only 3 trainers in the world who have trained trained horses that have earned $100 million plus. So, we're really lucky to have him back here at the Champaign County Fair in Urbana, back in his old stomping grounds, if you will. While we have some time, I think Kurt's going to give me some mic time. We'll look ahead to race 6 here. The race 6 is the Illini 2-year-old trot. We've got, looks like, filly trot, 2-year-old filly trot. 4 head, the 1, Hope's Darlene. Freddie Patton driving for Rashawn Trigg. The 2, Gabby's Lady. Driver change here. John Smith will be driving for Jerome Daniels. 3 horse, Luz Esmeralda. Chris Brown for his wife, Jill Brown. The 4 horse, Madam Full Charge for local Alan Finn. interesting here, the two-horse, Gabby's Lady. Jerome's not here. He's been having people, I think he had Jordan drive one of his horses earlier. But on this horse, on Gabby's Lady, we have John Smith. And you might have just seen John out there in the winner's circle, I think, in the last race or so. I believe he's a younger driver, maybe 30 or so. And I think he just got his license last year or the year before. So he's really kind of just started cutting his teeth. Had a horse of his own that he raced all across the fairs last year, and he's picking up some drives now. So, you know, he's picking up a horse, Gabby's Lady, who has 5 starts this year and hasn't missed the board, you know. So that's got to feel pretty good when you're picking up a live mount, you know, at a county fair here. So we have a 6th race going for a total purse of $2,519. Race day payout $867. The Marty Williams Memorial. And on a personal note, I was watching these, if you guys can see these blankets draped over the railings on the infield eye. When they were laying those out, I thought for sure we were going to have them blowing in the wind, scaring horses, but they haven't yet. We're doing pretty good. Looking forward to the 7th race. We have another Illini 2-year-old trot.
Waiting for number 2, Gabby's Lady, and as soon as we have the 2, we'll be set to go. And in fact, as we speak, last horse comes to the track. Horses are on the track for race 6, the Marty Williams Memorial. Good to have you with us. Thanks for sharing your Tuesday evening with us here at the Champaign County Fair. We've had a lot of fun and a lot more fun yet to come. Already tonight, we've seen the all-age pacing track record broken. That was back in the first race by Fox Valley B. Gump in 157. We've had the all-age trotting track record broken. That was in race 4, Swan of Dreams in 159 and 4. Had the celebrity driving race, which as it turns out was actually won by our fair president, Terry Lemke, who paired up with Rick Schrock, and Coach Cutsinger was the horse. So congratulations to Terry Lemke. So good to have you as part of the program, folks. I know the horsemen always appreciate it when they look up in the stands and see fans here to cheer them on. And you're about to get your next opportunity as we parade to the post for tonight's 6th race. The Illini 2-year-old trot. These Illini races are restricted to Illinois conceived and foaled horses. Number 1 is Hope Starline, owned by Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi. He's the trainer. Freddie Patton Jr. in the bike. 2, Gabby's Lady, is owned and trained by Jerome Daniels of Springfield. John Smith is the driver. Number 3, Luz Esmeralda, owned by the Flacco Family Farms, LLC, of Alexis, of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco, and Rick and Tabby Flacco, trained by Jill Brown, Chris Brown in the bike. And number 4 is Madam Full Charge, owned by Dave Brown of Harrisburg, Alan Finn, the trainer and the driver. Headed to the starting gate for race 6, the Marty Williams Memorial. Horsemen, be ready at the barns, please, with race 7. Stand by with that 7th race. You're next.
So any horses stick out to you in this race, David?
I was just kind of handicapping when you were away. Sentimental value here. I think I'm going for the 2. Gabby's Lady got a young driver. I think this might be his 2nd or 3rd year drive. And so he gets a short field, and he's getting a horse that hasn't missed the board yet. 5 starts, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Hopefully he just stays close and can pick up some pieces late and see what he can do. But it's, with these young trots, it's really anybody's race. Whoever stays flat probably has the best chance, right? If you put in a flat mile with no brakes, you're probably going to have a good chance with a small field like this. So, that's the name of the game sometimes, is just being careful.
Again, we talked to Little Leaguers about making, the less mistakes you make, the more chances you have to win. That's no different in any sport. Absolutely. Is eliminating the errors, and the errors in harness racing.
Horses have reached the starting gate for tonight's 6th race at the Champaign County Fair, 170th Champaign County Fair. Earlier today, we went back and pulled a few record books off the shelves, went through some of the old hardbound Wallace's Yearbook volumes. If you're not familiar with Wallace's Yearbook, that was a publication in the late 1800s into the early 1900s, which would document racing all around the U.S. The first year that Wallace's published a yearbook was 1885, and sure enough, they documented racing at the Champaign County Fair in 1885. The fair itself is older than that by a few years, but point being, we know that there's been racing at the Champaign County Fair a heck of a long time, all the way well back into that 19th century. Great tradition. Good to have you with us. Here they come. Race number 6, lined up on the gate, ready to go. And they are off and trotting in the Marty Williams Memorial, the Illini 2-year-old trot, first division. Hope Starlene broke stride at the start. Hope Starlene on a break. There goes Luz Esmeralda out for the early lead as they swing around that east turn, a gap of 3 lengths back to Gabby's Lady in second. And then Madam Full Charge broke stride. Madam Full Charge in third, broke stride midway on that first turn, but she's still third and now back on the trot as they head up the back stretch. It's a margin of nearly 20 lengths behind her to an off stride Hope Starlene, who is last of the 4. Back up at the front of the field, Luz Esmeralda is the leader. Luz Esmeralda leads up by 5 lengths as they go on by the quarter-mile mark. Gabby's Lady is racing in second. A margin of 25 more back to Madam Full Charge. 35-1 for the first quarter, 35-1, and Hope Starlene is the distant trailer. The leader is working around that west turn of the racetrack here after 3/8 of a mile in this evening's 6th race. And back up to the front of the field, Luz Esmeralda is the leader. Luz Esmeralda leads it by 10 lengths halfway home in the Marty Williams Memorial, and then Gabby's Lady racing in second. 25 more lengths to Madam Full Charge third, and then Hope Starlene, who is still last of the 4. 105-3 for the first half mile, 105-3. Luz Esmeralda is looking for a first career victory tonight. That filly making her 5th career start. And after 5/8 of a mile, she's in excellent position, leading it by 25 lengths. And then it is Gabby's Lady who travels in second position. Madam Full Charge is still a distant third, and Hope Starlene is racing in 4th. But the leader is at the 3/4 mile mark, and that is Luz Esmeralda. Luz Esmeralda leads it into the final turn. 1:39, the time at the 3/4 mile mark, 1 minute 39 seconds. Luz Esmeralda with Chris Brown of Charleston, Illinois, and the race bike in the blue, white, and red driving colors. An 1/8 of a mile to go for our leader. At the top of the lane comes Luz Esmeralda, moving on by the Carl Arrow ambulance. We appreciate our paramedics and EMTs standing by this evening, because we can't race without them. And thankfully, we haven't needed them. Here's the winner of race 6, Luz Esmeralda. Much the best here. Comes across the line some 30 lengths in front. It is Gabby's Lady who is home second, and then a battle for third. How about this? Madam Full Charge and Hope Starlene, they go side by side all the way down the stretch, and that is a close photo for third. Maybe Hope Starlene by a nose from the outside, maybe. We'll check with our photo finish technician, Denise Titus, to confirm that result. Horsemen, you may come to the track with race 7. Folks, sit tight. We'll meet the winner of race 6 and play Pick a Winner in just a moment. The time for the mile, 2:09 and 2. 2:09 and 2/5.
I'm going to disagree with Kurt, who I thought had 3rd and 4th. I'm sitting right here on the finish line like he is. And
I kind of thought so too, but I'm also slightly to the left than you, so.
Yeah. But that was a blowout race. That's really the first blowout race we've had tonight.
And you know, I was kind of cheering for John Smith and Gabby's Lady there, and going to the quarter and up to the half, he kind of was closing that hole and was kind of chewing up that lead, and I think he just realized it's better off to play it safe, take your second place money, and not mess that up, and and lose that with the gap you had, the cushion you had there. So probably a pretty heads up drive on his way, and Chris Brown just had it his way. He went out there and was racing against his stopwatch basically.
What was it, 2:07?
2:09 and 2.
Yeah, I didn't push it really hard.
No, and he even rated, half and 5 and 3, back half, or mile and 9 and 2. Didn't have to really ever sprint anywhere in there. It's always just kind of in hand. It's like with these trot races, like I said, just sometimes putting in a nice, clean, flat mile gets it done.
Let's go back to the celebrity race.
Horsemen again come to the track with race 7. Please come to the track with race 7. Now returning in front of the stands, the winner of race number 6. How about a hand for number 3, Luz Esmeralda? Luz Esmeralda, this is a husband and wife duo that teams up here with Jill Brown as the trainer and Chris Brown, her husband, as the driver. Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Alexis, Illinois, the owner and also the breeder of this 2-year-old trotting filly by the reigning Illinois Stallion of the Year, Lou's Legacy, out of Miss Esmeralda by Like a Prayer. 2:09.2 was the time for the mile. The Flacco Family Farms, made up of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco and Rick and Tabby Flacco. And Flacco Family Farms, they stand the sire Lou's Legacy. A reminder, the folks from Flacco Family Farms will offer their annual yearling consignment on Labor Day at the Illinois State Fairgrounds at the Illini Classic. There is the Marty Williams Memorial blanket, and I see folks wearing Illinois Barrel Racing Association shirts, and if memory serves, that was a passion of Marty Williams, that she was very much involved and very accomplished as a barrel racer. And we remember Marty Williams here this evening with this memorial race. Chris Brown. Chris, that deal works out pretty good. You and Jill teaming up for a victory. Teamwork, congratulations. Well done to the Brown family. Based out of Charleston, Illinois, Jill Brown and husband Chris with the win. First career victory for that 2-year-old trotting filly, Lou's Esmeralda. Here's the full field rundown from that 6th race. From the top, Hope Starlene was 3rd. Gabby's Lady, the runner-up. Lou's Esmeralda, the winner, and Madam Full Charge finished 4th. The quarter, 35-1. The half in 105-3. 3 quarters in 139, and the time for the mile, 2:09.2. Reached down 3:2.14. 7th race is on the way, the Charles Plotner Memorial. Race 7, the 2nd division of the Illini 2-year-old trot. No changes. Horsemen come to the track with that 7th race.
Let's go back to the celebrity race.
Okay.
The 2-seat carts, what are those used for normally, or is it just for things like that?
Yeah, you see them used a lot for celebrity type events. You'll also see, the bigger staples will have them, and they'll bring some of their owners or out onto the track with the horse, as opposed to just turning them loose with a horse by themselves. You can come out and kind of get the experience without having to be, any kind of safety concern.
And I could see this from a training standpoint. Let's say you own a barn and you're trying to teach somebody to help train your horses. And how to train them as far and training them by actually being right there beside of them. I don't know of any other sport that you could just actively go out and train like that, and your mentor be right beside of you.
Most guys, I think, would just turn you loose and let you go and just let you follow them. But yeah, I mean, you get to sit there and ride with Irv Miller. I mean, the guy knows more about horses and standardbreds and trotters and pacers than a lot of people in the world, and to be able to sit by them and have their feedback, that's the one thing about when you're out there, you're kind of by yourself, just you and the horse. The feedback comes when you're back at the stable area after the race or whatnot, and that's a little delayed. You've already kind of beat yourself up or whatnot, but with somebody sitting next to you, they can kind of correct you in real time and remind you of, watch out for this or grab up here a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. Particularly a young driver.
Yes,
I mean, I can see it in a young driver. You need to come into this corner, as we went in the corner, or coaching them through the corner or passing a horse and those things. It's physically right there, and you feel like you've got the support.
And yeah, you're not on an island, right? Like I keep saying, if you're out there by yourself, it's daunting, right? Because these are big animals, and you're strapped to them, and you're just kind of at their mercy. But with someone else there, kind of watching your back, it's a little easier to kind of dip your toe in the water and get somebody out there on the track, and you feel the wind in their hair, if you will. They went a big mile though. Was it 2:18, 2:16? That wasn't a slow mile by any means. They were racing, So those guys got a good experience, got a good hopefully memory to stick in their memory for future. And the Fair Board president wins. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to expect that he's going to want to do it again next year and fill up the celebrity race with somebody else. So.
And let's talk about the gentleman that owns horses over here.
Yeah, Brian Lohman. Wherever he's at, he's running around here somewhere. Huge shout out that goes to him. He's done a lot. I'm not sure exactly what all he's responsible for, but I see his little crew running around doing some of the pick the winner stuff and some of the winner circle stuff and some of the ceremonial stuff.
So he owns horses, And he's on the, is he on the fair board here?
I don't know if he's on the fair board or not. I think he just kind of maintains the barn and the track for his horses. He has Kevin Miller do a lot of the training for him, and I think this is his facility rather than having a farm. Building a farm to train at. You can just train it, and kind of just do it here. So I think he's just a horseman. He's heavily involved. He wants to do it. He likes doing it, and so he's going to put his heart into it. And he definitely has, worked a ton.
Waiting on number 2, Danish Dreamboat, and of course that filly comes from the stable that won race number 6. So we understand they were detained in the winner's circle. It's one of the perks of winning. Get to come back, get your picture made in front of the grandstand. But one of the challenges of it is it sets you that much further back by a few minutes getting your next horse onto the track. So we understand, we sympathize, so all good. We will patiently wait as Danish Dreamboat will be on the track, no doubt, in just a moment.
One of the things, David, we talked about in the car, we went past the breeding facility for the University of Illinois over here. Tell people a little bit about that.
So the University of Illinois actually has a breeding program, a standardbred breeding program. So, as horsemen, if we have a horse that needs some sort of work done, a surgery or whatnot, or some sort of imaging, we don't have very many options as far as veterinarians to do the work. So a lot of guys bring them over here to the U of I. And through that partnership, the U of I has then, expanded out and built a breeding program here where they stand some sires, they do some breeding, and then they do some foaling here. So it's a pretty cool operation at the U of I campus. We're very fortunate that the university does that for our industry.
Okay. 7, the Charles Plotner Memorial, 2nd division of the Illini 2-year-old trot. There are no changes. Horses getting ready to parade to the post. Race 7 of our 11 races here this evening. Charles Plotner passed away in 2019. He was an owner and breeder of standardbreds for well over 40 years, and he was a farmer, farmed the family Centennial Farm for nigh 5 decades. Good to have his son Brent as our timer alongside of Marty Alanya here in the judges stand on the infield this evening. The Plotner family name, a lot of us remember when the Plotner family raced Ticket Queen. That was a mare that Brent often drove and won a lot of races, broke a lot of track records on this Illinois Fair circuit in the 1990s. That was one tough pacing mare. Ticket Queen. We remember Charles Plotner with race number 7. Getting ready to parade to the post. Let's meet the starters. Number 1 is Fox Valley Jessie, owned by Sherry Boldovich of Lakewood, Colorado, co-owned by the trainer Jamaica Patton of Rochester, and as of just a few days ago, also owned by our own Linda Allhands of Monticello. Just bought an interest in this filly a few days ago. And of course, Linda has been a member of our racing office staff here at the Champaign County Fair for a number of years. We appreciate all that she does, and she will watch Fox Valley Jessie head to the post in just a moment, trained by Jamaica Patton. Phil Knox is the driver. 2 is Danish Dreamboat, owned by the Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, trained by Jill Brown. Chris Brown driving as they try to team up and go back-to-back on the card. 3 is Hope Star, leased by Frank Thigpen of Crystal Springs, Mississippi, trained by Roshan Trigg, the driver, Freddie Patton Jr. And 4, Shady Maple Ace, owned and trained by Tanner Saltzgaver of Fisher. The driver is Wyatt Avenetti. Headed to the gate for race 7.
Okay, the trainer for the number 4 horse, not familiar to me as we've been out there.
Tanner Saltzgaver, yeah, I don't want to say a new name. I'm not really sure his total history, but I know that I think he has some sort of family tie to the sport, and he kind of got into it and buying horses and doing some training and driving himself within the last 5 years, I want to say. He's since passed some of the driving off to Wyatt. Wyatt does a great job, but Tanner kind of conditions his own little stable and maybe a little bit of breeding to just, a small-time guy, but he's a young guy, and we love having young talent in the sport, young trainers, young owners, young drivers, everybody, because it's going to have to be the future somehow, and it doesn't start
now,
with
folks,
young
the
talent.
reason that our queen, Katie Landers, is waving toward her family over in the grandstand, she wanted to get their attention because we were just talking to Katie about the fact that Katie is from Fisher, and there is a trotter in race 7 owned by a resident of Fisher. And that is number 4, Shady Maple Ace. Trains right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds, in fact. Number 4, Shady Maple Ace, owned and trained by Tanner Saltzgaver. Tanner makes his home in Fisher and trains that 2-year-old trotting gelding right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. By the way, it is fantastic to see all that is happening with regard to racing at the Champaign County Fair and with this training facility. This racetrack is fantastic. It is in top shape. We've seen that with a couple of track record miles here tonight. The Champaign County roots in harness racing go back. I grew up in the 1970s. I remember watching folks like Finney Thompson race horses. I remember watching the late Jim Music race horses. I remember watching Alex and Ernie Adam, their sister Elisa when she drove, Bill and Marty Alanya, Roger Allhands from Dewey. Wasn't the address Dewey at one time? Yes. The list goes on and on. What a wonderful tradition. They are off and trotting, and there they go in race 7, the Charles Plotner Memorial, as Linda Allhand says, go, Jesse, go. And that is Fox Valley Jesse, who gets away in good position in second as they race around the first turn. Hope Star is the early leader, though, as Fox Valley Jesse will rate right in behind the leader in that second spot as they swing around that east turn. Then a gap of 3 more lengths back to Danish Dreamboat in third, and Shady Maple Ace is back there in fourth as these 4 two-year-old trotters work their way off the lower turn and head up the back straightaway toward the quarter-mile mark. It is Hope Star, the leader. Hope Star leads at a length and a half. Fox Valley Jesse is racing in second, a gap of 4 more lengths back to Danish Dreamboat in third, a length and a half. And then Shady Maple Ace, who's fourth, but right there with the rest. 36 flat for the opening quarter, 36 seconds flat, working their way around the west end of the course here in race 7. So far, no one has stepped out of line as these 4 trotters stay lined up along the inside lane of the racetrack. Hope Star leads it. Fox Valley Jesse races along in the second position. And then comes Shady Maple Ace, who moves up 1 spot to third. Danish Dreamboat put in a couple of awkward steps and lost a position and is now fourth and last past the half-mile mark. Back up front, Hope Star is the leader. 109 and 4 for the first half mile. 109 and 4. Back around the east turn they go. It is Hope Star leading it by a length and a half, by 2 lengths. Fox Valley Jesse is second. 5 more lengths then to Shady Maple Ace, who's in third, and a gap of 6 more back to Danish Dreamboat in the fourth position. After 5/8 of a mile, positions unchanged. Hope Star, the leader. Fox Valley Jesse second, and then number 4, Shady Maple Ace, is racing in third, about 6 lengths off the lead, and a gap of another 8 lengths back to Danish Dreamboat, who is last as they go on by the 3/4 mile mark. And here comes Fox Valley Jesse. 1:44, the time at the 3/4, 1:44. Phil Knox says, come on, girl, it's time to go. And Fox Valley Jesse is moving up on the outside and challenges Hope Star for the lead. Hope Star inside, Fox Valley Jesse outside. It'll be one of these two. A driving finish, side by side, all the way to the wire. Photo for the win. That is tight. That is a tight photo for the win. It will either be number 3, Hope Star, or number 1, Fox Valley Jesse. It'll be one of those two for the win. Further back, it was Shady Maple Ace, who finished in third position, and Danish Dreamboat was fourth. Time for the mile. 2:13 and 2. 2:13 and 2/5 in the Charles Plotner Memorial. We will check with our photo finish technician, Denise Titus, who stands to our right toward the west end of this infield judges stand.
On the inside.
Huh?
I got Hope Star, Freddie on the inside.
I don't know. I think the 3 got him at the right at the finish line. Man, that's close.
That's close. That's close.
Yeah.
You know, I'll point something out here because I just noticed that if you've newbie to the sport, notices that some people lay back in the bike when they're finishing the mile.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch there, Phil Knox was actually kind of sitting up in the bike. And the difference being between trotters and pacers, trotters kind of like to feel their feet underneath them. So if you lean back too far and lift them off the ground, they can't feel that balance and that timing, and they can get out of time. So sometimes when trotters get tired...
Result of the photo shows the winner to be, by a nose, number 3, Hope's Star. Fox Valley Jesse gave it a tremendous effort. Both of these two... I know, Phil, that was tight, buddy. Just missed. And indeed, how about a hand for both of these 2-year-old trotters, folks? Didn't they both do a nice job? I tell you, Linda Allhands, as an owner, I think that is, the 3rd photo finish beaten by a nose for Linda's stable this year. 3 times Linda has had horses this summer that have been runner-up, beaten only a nose. So what that tells me, Linda, is your luck is due for a change. Tell you, the main thing, the big takeaway is your horses are racing well because they're in there fighting for wins, and that is a big part of the game. Well, with that said, it was number 3, Hope Star, who hung on by a diminishing nose and picks up the blanket here, the Charles Plotner Memorial. Blue blanket with white lettering and trim. Our Queen, Katie Landers of Fisher, and our Little Miss, Mackenzie Hulls of St. Joseph, getting ready to make the presentation as Denise Titus awaits to take the winner's circle photo. And returning in front of the grandstand now is Hope Star. Mr. Freddie Patton Jr. gets his 2nd winning drive of the night. We told you earlier he comes to us out of Clinton, Mississippi. How about a hand for Mr. Patton with Hope Star? Freddie Patton Jr. is an individual that keeps very, very busy. He started coming up to race the Illinois Fair Circuit, I'm going to guess maybe 20 to 25 years ago, and he nods his head, that's correct. And I remember that when we first met Freddie years ago, we found out that by trade, he worked in the construction business as a bricklayer in Mississippi. So he would be busy at times down at home in Mississippi with what was his full-time job in the construction trade. And then when he had time, he would come up and race horses in Illinois. Well, the success of his stable over the years gradually allowed Freddie to start devoting more time to racing. And he has won a lot of races across this state over the last 25 years. And here's the most recent example, Hope's Star with the victory. Congratulations to Frank Thigpen of Crystal Springs, Mississippi, who leases this 2-year-old trotter, a gelded son of Strong Hope, out of Lindy Lou Who by Crazed. 2nd win of this trotting filly's career. The Plotner family offering their congratulations down trackside. Again, this race in memory of Charles Plotner, who was a good friend, not only a breeder and owner of horses, but Charles was a good friend to all of us who had the pleasure of knowing him over the years. The Charles Plotner Memorial, Hope's Star.
Again,
here is the full field rundown. From the top, Fox Valley Jesse was the runner-up. Danish Dreamboat finished 4. Hope Star, the winner. And Shady Maple Ace was 3rd. The opening quarter in 36 seconds, the half in 109 and 4. 3 quarters, 144, and the mile 213 and 2. It reached down 2-4-1-3. Horsemen come to the track with race 8, the Fitzsimmons Family Memorial. A reminder, there's a driver change on number 2, Trident Born. That'll be Jordan Patton. Number 2, Trident Born, make the driver Jordan Patton. Really appreciate our Queen Katie Landers and our Little Miss Mackenzie Hulls. We've noticed that they have not only been presenting the blankets, but they have been applauding these winners enthusiastically, and that's great to see. So, ladies, again, thank you both to Katie and to Mackenzie. We appreciate not only your being here, but the enthusiasm you bring to the races. Well done, ladies.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Come join us for the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we're at the Champaign County Fair in Urbana, Illinois, ready for race 8 in our card tonight. And that 11 races total, 12 if you count the celebrity race. But David, let's talk about our donors, the people that keep this going for free along with our advertisers.
Oh yeah, speaking of our donors, I was looking forward to this next race, the 8th race. One of our donors shows up as an owner of Skyway Lazaro. Pete Uri was one of our donors. You know, these people who have appreciated what we've done have opened their pocketbooks and donated to us, and it's just been outstanding. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, it's so appreciated. It helps make this a little bit easier to run when we're not kind of just worried about paying for everything, every nickel and dime thing. We've had people step up and try to help us out, and you know, it lets us travel to more places and go to more fairs and you know, cover more races.
Well, in fact, it's not too early for you to talk to your fair for the 2024
Correct.
season
if you
and
like,
give David a call
yeah,
and see what it's going to
get
take
us
to get
on
us
the
there.
book. You know, if we didn't make it there this year, we're willing to. We're just trying to work the schedule that works. You know, we can cover all the places. So give us a shout if you think about next year. Lock us up. If it's a place we didn't go this year, maybe we'll figure out how much it's going to cost for us to go there expense-wise, and we can get you a quote. But yeah, these donors, the fair associations, the individuals, the businesses, it's been everybody who's been stepping up, just appreciative, you know, trying to show their appreciation with a check.
All right, one last time.
Is this Mr. Lohman here?
Is one of the winners here on Pick the Winners.
I'm going to give him some airtime here.
Worried about stepping on Kurt. If we could plan it out, you know, I think we could get Brian in here. Let me ask him for a different race, maybe. Let's do that. That wasn't our horse, by the way. That was one that Ed Teefy sold.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As soon as we have number 1, Take Me Dancing, we'll be set to go here in tonight's 8th race. Again, the Champaign County Fair, the 170th, continues all the way through Saturday. The motorcycle races tomorrow night, monster trucks Thursday night. Brothers Osborne and Matt Stell perform live on Friday night, and then a doubleheader of pulling action on Saturday, the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association at noon, and the Illinois Pullers Association at 6 p.m. Horses around the track, race 8, the Illinois Top Line 2-year-old Pace getting ready to go to the post. All 3 of these 2-year-olds, by the way, are Indiana breds. Every one of them an Indiana bred performer. We talked about the fact the Top Line dates back to the 1930s and was a circuit created for horses that are not just Illinois bred. If you're wondering why, well, why would a group of people back in the 30s get together and form a circuit like that? The reason, there were people in Illinois that owned racehorses, and there was no Illinois bred program at that time. There was no such thing as an Illinois bred racehorse. So people would go to sales in Kentucky and Ohio and Pennsylvania. They would buy horses to race. They said, we need to put together a fair circuit and have a set of stakes races. So that's why the Top Line is open to the whole world, regardless of where the horse grew up. Let's meet the starters for race number 8. Number 1 is Take Me Dancing, owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Bert Hawksprung of Elburn, Brian Lohman of Broadlands, trained by Kevin Miller right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. Wyatt Avenatti, the driver. 2 is Trident Born, owned by the D&J Racing Stables of Terry, Mississippi, of Duncan and Jacqueline McLean, trained by Jamaica Patton. A reminder, Jordan Patton is the driver. And number 3, Skyway Lazaro, owned by Peter Uribe of Moline, who is in attendance here this evening, co-owned by Bonita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons. The driver is Phil Knox. Headed to the gate, race 8.
So up to number race 8, and again,
Yeah.
Kurt's done a good job of keeping this
with
this
all the
moving
festivities
tonight.
in there too. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
normally I figure 15 minutes per race, and this is actually the 9th event
Yeah.
for the night, so we should be a quarter after 8 with 2 hours and 15 minutes from the start time, and it's 8:18.
To the horsemen on the backstretch, to Kurt, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for helping move these things along, because we know sometimes we're kind of pressed for time and how much of a strain that is for the horsemen on the back when you have horses coming in and off the track and going out and bathing and stripping and all that, winter circles. So everyone who's, thank you, because to put a program off that fast takes a lot of heavy lifting, but it makes it more presentable to the public, right? When we turn it into a 5-6 hour program, it's kind of hard to keep an attention here.
Oh, absolutely. That being the case, you look at what Major League Baseball has done, what football has done to cut these
the attention
times
span's
down.
getting smaller.
Yeah, because we live in a video world, and so I can do
Horses
12
are
things
turning
at
to the
once.
gate over on the
Folks, we're gonna
backstretch.
start seeing as it
Harness
gets
racing will get
darker here, a
underway
little
at the
bit harder
Illinois
for the
State
camera to
Fair
focus
on Thursday,
in the
August
back.
10,
But,
with a doubleheader.
we'll
Post
get you the
times of
best
11
picture we
a.m.
possibly
and
can.
5 p.m. They will also race on Friday, August 11th at 11 a.m., Saturday, August 12th, post time 11 a.m. They take a break for a few days, and they come back on Wednesday, August 16, and Thursday, August 17, 11 a.m. post time each day. Race 8 here at the Champaign County Fair at the post. The gate is rolling. That Thursday, August 17, if the weather cooperates, should be a huge day at the Illinois State Fair, because that will be championship day with the championship finals of the Illinois State Fair Colt Stakes. And then that night, Tim McGraw is scheduled to perform in front of the grandstand. So if you're headed to the Illinois State Fair on Thursday, August 17, and if the weather cooperates, be ready. You probably are going to find yourself in a sea of people by the time those races let out and everybody starts getting in line, getting ready for that Tim McGraw concert. Here they come, race 8. Often pacing the top line 2-year-old pace, the Fitzsimmons Family Memorial. There goes Take Me Dancing, right out for the early lead. Trident Born gets away second, and Skyway Lazaro is away in third as these three juvenile pacers swing around the lower turn and race toward the quarter-mile mark. Take Me Dancing, the early leader. Take Me Dancing, a 2-year-old filly, which trains right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds in the barn of Kevin Miller, leads onto the backstretch as Trident Born goes second, and Skyway Lazaro is in third as they all line up nose to tail in post position order, headed up the back straightaway to the quarter-mile mark. Take Me Dancing shows the way. Take Me Dancing leads it for Wyatt Avenatti, a driver who comes to us out of Crispin, Illinois. Had a big night last night at the Edgar County Fair. 33-4 for the opening quarter, 33 4/5 seconds. Wyatt Avenatti last night drove 4 winners on the card at the Edgar County Fair to lead all drivers, and he's trying to rack up a victory here tonight at the Champaign County Fair driving Take Me Dancing. So far this evening, Wyatt has not reached the winner's circle, at least not yet, but this may be where that story changes. Take Me Dancing in control here, halfway home in race 8, and leads it by a length and a half. Trident Born second, Skyway Lazaro third. 106 for the half, 106 flat. Back around the east turn they go. Take Me Dancing is the leader, continues to show the way by a for Trident Born in second position, and Skyway Lazaro back there in third. Take Me Dancing is looking for her first career victory, has been racing over at Hoosier Park in some pretty tough parimutuel races, and will face a challenge here by the time they get to the 3/4, because here comes Trident Born. Trident Born is trying to make a move to the outside of the leader, Take Me Dancing, who so far has been able to withstand the challenge and still leads it by a length. Skyway Lazaro is back there in third as they hit the final turn. 3/4, 140 and 1/5, 140 and a fifth. Take Me Dancing is the leader as they come off the turn, and here comes Trident Born to the outside. The battle is on in the final 8th mile in race 8. Take Me Dancing, Trident Born going at it all the way down the stretch. Another photo for the win. Trident Born from the outside, Take Me Dancing from the inside. That will be another photo finish for the win. Our photo finish technician, Denise Titus, has been busy here this evening. Some fantastic racing. 2:08 was the time for the mile. 2:08 as we await the result of the photo finish.
I don't know, David. 2:08 what for the final?
2:08 flat I've got. 2:08 flat.
Okay.
Small fields still produce exciting races, huh?
It is. A 3-horse race.
Photo
and
finishes everywhere we turn.
And I don't know. Who was the inside
Result
horse?
of the photo shows the winner to be by a nose. Number 2, Trident Born.
Jordan Patton.
Trident Born, the horse that sat right behind the pace setter all the way and made that move on the outside down the stretch, just does get up to prevail by a nose for driver Jordan Patton. Number 2, Trident Born, your winner.
I actually thought that's what happened again on the outside, that it was by a nose on the outside as we were looking. I'm sorry I didn't get the replay done numerous times for people to
Again, number 2, Trident Born, scores the win here in the photo finish. Jordan Patton had it timed just right. Amazing. Always fascinates. I don't care how many races one has seen, the fact you can go a full mile and just be separated by a whisker at the wire. We have seen some very competitive racing here this evening at the Champaign County Fair. Here comes the winner now, just went past the stands, went down to the east turn, and now has turned around and will come back for the blanket in just a moment as our queen and our little miss patiently await. Katie Landers and Mackenzie Hulse getting ready to offer congratulations to Mr. Jordan Patton on the victory here in race number 8. Trident Born is owned by the D&J Racing Stables out of Terry, Mississippi. That is the racing name of Duncan and Jacqueline McLean. Jamaica Patton is the trainer, and Jordan Patton is the winning driver. The winning 2-year-old filly is Indiana bred. She is by Odds On Eculus out of Miami, Hanover by Some Beach Somewhere. Bred by Loane Miller and Silver Linden Farms of Indiana. This filly's now won twice in the top line. She won the top line season opener at the Jasper County Fair back in June and now wins here tonight at the second top line fair of the summer, the Champaign County Fair. How about a hand for number 2, Trident Born?
I tell you what.
So earlier tonight, we saw Freddie Patton Jr. win. We saw Freddie win twice here this evening, including race 7. And now his son, Jordan Patton, picks up a victory in race number 8. The Patton family having a good go of it here tonight at the Champaign County Fair. 2 wins for Dad and 1 win for his son, Jordan. Congratulations to the Pattons. Here's the full field rundown for the Fitzsimmons Family Memorial for race 8 from the top. Take Me Dancing was the runner-up. Trident Born, the winner, and Skyway Lazaro third. They got the quarter in 33 and 4, the half in 106, 3 quarters in 140 and 1/5, and the time for the mile 2:08 flat. It reads down 2-1-3, and the result is official. That brings us to race 9, the Illinois Top Line 2-year-old trot, the VFW Auxiliary Post 630 race. It will be Jordan Patton who drives number 3, Our Sweet Baby Ray. Jordan Patton drives number 3, Our Sweet Baby Ray. Horsemen come to the track with race 9.
Okay, David, one of the things I want to point out, the Champaign County Fair Queen is about as most precise person I've seen of all of our fair queens about getting in square up in front and getting good pictures out there.
And she's kind of, I mean, yeah, sometimes they're kind of coached and corralled around and you know, but she's out there on her own, you know, kind of paying attention, cheering for horses and out there in the winner circle doing her duty, you know.
Got the little miss with her.
I tell you what, sometimes you see a fair queen and it's just, you know, they're at home in the position, and sometimes it, you know, it's just, it looks so comfortable out there. So good for her. Thank you. I didn't catch her name, but yeah, she's doing a great job.
Okay, this next race, you know, they haven't been in races with some, what I call some really good times. I mean, 2:24. I mean,
We've seen track records tonight. It's been the track's hot tonight for sure.
Yep. And so I don't know about you. Chris Brown's kind of been on a roll tonight also. And I kind of like the horse. Yoder's Gracie has had a decent time and has won at least one race.
Well, and you're right. And when Yoder's Gracie puts in a flat mile, they won by 60 lengths out there at Newton. It looks like, I'm not sure who all was in that. Oh, our Sweet Baby Ray Ray was in there, finished second. So I really think if you look through all three of these horses, Exactly a Lady made a bunch of breaks.
Again, horsemen, come to the track, please, with race 9.
It looks like maybe if our Sweet Baby Ray could stay flat, could challenge Yoder's Gracie.
Make sure, folks, this week that you take time to visit all of the exhibits, the buildings that house everything from the arts and the crafts to the culinary items. It's always a lot of fun. It's a big part of the fair. Always fun to see everyone at the livestock shows. It's such a special time of year. And the Champaign County Fair continues through Saturday. So be sure to take time and enjoy the Champaign County Fair, the 170th.
So we're waiting. Apparently we had a couple of different drivers that maybe needed to make some switches or something there, or we're warming up horses.
He's got two horses coming out of the same barn, out of Jacob Radle's barn, so he's got to get two horses ready and out to the track. And Jordan just won the last race, didn't he? So he's got to get his bike changed over, and he's got to get on the 3 here. So even though there's 3 heads, sometimes, like I said, there's only so many horsemen out there to do all the work. It kind of, we have to be a little patient, but the horsemen have done a great job.
And so many of these guys wear 2 hats, or trainer and driver.
Man, yeah.
And hauler.
Yes, I mean, the amount of people it takes to run a stable is crazy. And you see Kevin Miller's name or Jamaica Patton's name in the program, and you don't see the 10 guys they got that are doing the work, from cleaning stalls to shipping to all that kind of stuff in between, and grooming and all. It takes a village to keep a barn going.
Well, and let's go to that, because I know in the Bowen barn in Mount Sterling, several young people have come through that barn as jobs in high school and so forth. You've got a young man in your barn now that is a pretty good basketball player, and it's not easy work. Jackson, but if you like being with animals, it's a great thing.
It's one of those things. And right now we're lucky to have Jackson. I think as summer leagues start creeping up, we might start losing some availability. But he's doing a great job, and it's one of those things that you have to almost just. You can't be too scared, right? Because these horses are big and scary, and if they intimidate you, they can smell the fear. So, we've been fortunate to have both DeWitt boys, Grant and Drake DeWitt, come through our barn. Elijah Neese worked for my grandpa, then for Dad.
Justin Volk.
Justin Volk worked for us for years, and he's family actually. His grandpa was a Bowen, so a little legacy there. But yeah, we've had so many guys come through that barn, and you're right. When I was hired with the state, my boss told me he liked me because I was a country kid. I had a work ethic, right? I wasn't just a millennial. I was somebody who grew up on a farm, and I think that's kind of instilled to you when you go out to the horse barn. Is these it's livestock. These are animals. You do have to take care of them. You do have to feed them. You do have to clean the stalls and all that kind of stuff. So, it puts that work ethic into you, automatically. And for individuals who are lucky enough to get, to tag along to a stable and to experience that, they get a taste of that world, that community, that camaraderie we have.
Well, I know as a young adult, being able to go into the barn and interact with the horses and help out with the horses, and they need grooming and cared for.
I tell you, what happens a lot is sometimes you'll see, we had a kid, TJ, for young, he was like 13, I think, at the time, in 7th, 8th grade, but he kind of just took to the horses. He kind of took to them, personally, and really kind of invested and cared about them, and it kind of gave him something that kind of kept his nose to the stone. You know what I mean? So it can have benefits too, because it's a lot of work. We'll keep you busy if you want to work with the horses.
Well, and I'm trying to think. You're some of the young people that are, you being like younger or an adult, you're soon to have middle-aged in there. But that young people into the sport, getting interested in the sport as a trainer, it's a good job. It's rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding.
And who was it? Was it? And I've asked this, and I continue to forget. Was it the young Miller kid?
Horses are on the track for race 9 at the Champaign County Fair on this Tuesday night. The top line, 2-year-old trot. The blanket sponsor, the VFW Auxiliary Post 630. A reminder, the driver of number 3, our Sweet Baby Ray, is Jordan Patton. Fresh off that win in race 8, Jordan Patton will drive number 3, our Sweet Baby Ray. All 3 of these 2-year-old trotters are fillies. And we'll meet the starters here in just a moment. In fact, here they come now off the east turn of the racetrack. Number 1 is Exactly a Lady, owned and trained by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, Cornelius Cabot in the bike. Number 2, Yoder's Gracie, owned by David Gingerich of Charlton, Iowa, trained by Jill Brown. Chris Brown is in the bike. And number 3, our Sweet Baby Ray, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood. Jacob's the trainer. It'll be Jordan Patton in the race bike. Headed to the starting gate for this evening's 9th race, the 9th of our 11 events on the card.
Okay,
the folks over at Tinsley's Amusements have the midway up and going. They'll be here each night throughout the remainder of the week. See the lights on those extended arms of the ride they always called the octopus, that big ride that's got all those tentacles that spread out everywhere. A tradition of the Illinois Fair Circuit. Fun to see those great traditional carnival rides here in action this evening as we are racing at the Champaign County Fair. Been fun to trade thoughts with folks here in the infield judges stand, reminiscing about horsemen that have trained here over the years. The name Jim Pelly came up. I remember Jim well when I was a kid in the 70s. I think he had maroon or burgundy colors with like a gray or white sash across the back. Raced a lot of nice horses. Finney Thompson, we mentioned earlier, was Queen's Laramie. Was that one of the horses he had that was, very... Bill Alanya groomed Queen's Laramie. I did not realize Bill had worked for Finney, and when Bill was fairly young, 10 years old, and he was a caretaker for the Finney Thompson stable. Wow. Oh, we need to talk to Bill sometime, and would love to hear some stories. When you're a kid growing up, you take it for granted. You see those horsemen racing, and then by the time you get older, you start wishing, I wish I had talked to a Finney Thompson. So it's great. The next best thing is talk to people who were there, who did work for those horsemen. Definitely have to sit down with Bill Alanya sometime. That would be fantastic. Right now, horses are approaching the starting gate for race 9. At the post, gates rolling. By the way, horseman purse checks for races 1 through 7 are available in the backstretch racing office. Purse checks for races 1 through 7 available over on the backstretch at the racing office in the stable area. At the post, up on the west end of the track, goes the starting gate. Mr. Mitch Titus, our starter. A.J. Sherry driving the gate for Mitch tonight. The VFW Auxiliary Post 630 race, the top line 2-year-old trot. Horsemen, be ready at the barn. Stand by with race 10. Stand by. Here comes the 9th. Exactly a Lady breaks stride before the start. Number 1, Exactly a Lady broke stride. And now a problem for Our Sweet Baby Ray, who breaks stride. Our Sweet Baby Ray is on the break. So off and trotting goes Yoder's Gracie. Yoder's Gracie, the only of these 2-year-old trotting fillies who did not break stride, and as a result, she's the early leader by a 5-length margin, but Exactly a Lady is making a quick recovery from her early mistake, and in fact is now beginning to catch up to the leader as they race off the lower turn and onto the backstretch, headed toward the quarter-mile mark. Our Sweet Baby Ray is a distant third, at this point some 25 to 30 lengths behind the other 2 trotting fillies. Approaching the quarter-mile station, Yoder's Gracie is the leader. Yoder's Gracie is on top, leads up by 5 lengths. Exactly a Lady goes second by 25, and Our Sweet Baby Ray trails back there in third as they work their way up to the west end of the course. Opening quarter was 38-2. 38 and 2/5 seconds for the opening quarter. Thank you, Brent. 38 and 2/5 seconds was the time for that opening quarter mile. Yoder's Gracie is the leader, and Yoder's Gracie comes into the stretch with a 12-length lead as they come on down to the half. Yoder's Gracie on top by 10 with a circuit to go here in race number 9. That's exactly a lady who's trying to catch up. Exactly a lady who made that break at the start is still trying to reel in the race leader, but she's got 10 to 12 lengths before she can do that. The first half was in 1:11 and 3. 1:11 and 3/5. And moving by the stands is our sweet baby Ray in that third position, as meanwhile the leader is headed on to the backstretch and racing toward the 3/4 mile mark. Yoder's Gracie continues to show the way with Chris Brown in the race bike. Chris is looking for a driving double here tonight. As you may remember, he and wife Jill, the trainer, teamed up for a victory here earlier this evening in the Illini 2-year-old trot, and now trying for a victory in the top line. 1:47.1 the time at the 3/4 mile mark, 1:47.1, as Yoder's Gracie works her way around the west end of the course, and she is the leader as Exactly a Lady is still racing in that second position. Here is Yoder's Gracie moving off the final turn and into the home stretch. Her advantage has only grown on this second lap around. It's out to some 18 to 20 lengths now. Yoder's Gracie and Chris Brown, your winner in race number 9, the VFW Auxiliary Post 630 race for top line 2-year-old trotters. Exactly a Lady came home in second position, and then it'll be our sweet baby Ray. 2:19 and 4 was the time for the mile. 2:19 and 4/5 of a second. Our sweet baby Ray now comes off the final turn and down the home stretch, so heads up, a reminder, there's still one more 2-year-old trotter coming across the finish line, and that will make race 9 official as our sweet baby Ray completes the mile in third.
Well, David, I picked that one.
You did. You are. Yeah, you did.
And all I'm going to get for it is because I just picked it. I didn't even put anything in the bucket I should have.
I know.
My name could have got drawn.
We're missing out here. They're giving away some cool stuff, too.
And so another good race, and we're going to have an opportunity. What's the gentleman's name?
Brian Lohman has been in and out of the booth. They've been announcing the Pick a Winner contest.
Horsemen, you may come to the track with race 10. 10th race, come to the track, please. Here in race 9 this evening, the winner, Yoder's Gracie. That is a training double for Jill Brown. That is a driving double for Chris Brown. Taking a look at the standings tonight, Roshan Trigg, 2 wins as trainer, and Jill Brown with 2 wins as trainer. In the driving column, you've got Richard Finn, Freddie Patton Jr., Chris Brown with 2 wins apiece. And, of course, Richard Finn with some bragging rights because he drove the horses that broke both the all-age pacing track record and the all-age trotting track record here this evening. But with that said, here is Team Brown. Jill trains, husband Chris does.
And we will roll Kurt down there. We've got a special guest up here in the booth, Mr. Brian Lohman. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. We're having a great evening here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds.
Hey, some great races, man. Two track records.
Oh, it's
the track's in awesome condition.
It is. I'll tell you what, Dave Avenatti and Kevin Miller, they've put in a lot of work to the track today and yesterday and the day before yesterday. And boy, you can see it's paid off.
It's paying off. I saw Daryl Miller out there with a pitchfork picking up rocks earlier, I think, you know. So, yeah, the horsemen really appreciate that. So tell me a little bit about your history, Brian. How long you been in the sport, kind of what got you into it?
Sure. My dad got me into the sport back in 1977. I was 10 years old, to show my age a little bit. And we claimed a horse up in Chicago at Sportsman's Park and raced down on the Fairmount Park and Quad City Down Circuit.
Oh, yeah.
And I was 10 years old. We were going to the horse races, and I was hooked.
And you got the bug bit you, right?
Ever since.
It's awesome. Yes. So how many horses do you have now?
So I own a piece of 15 horses.
Wow. Good for you.
We've got 10 here in Illinois and 5 in New York.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
So you get to experience some of the New York racing out there too.
We do. Growing up on the county fair circuit, I love half-mile track racing. It's more strategic. It's just not a drag strip, so to speak, and just more strategy behind it. And I used to love Maywood Park, And that's one of the
Tony
things.
Morgan could.
Tony
yeah.
Morgan, Tony Morgan, and Davey McGee. They're two of the best on a half mile, and so we race at Yonkers.
Oh,
and that's
great purse
again,
structure. Yeah.
Great purse structure, and half mile track. You got Jason Bartlett out there, and
He's hot.
George
yeah.
Brennan, and Yannick Gingras. And
Some of the best. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
they're phenomenal. They're fun to
And
watch.
it's a good point because there's really very few half-mile tracks left. You know, they're
correct.
still racing. No one wants to build one, and Yonkers, we're fortunate enough, we has a nice quality half-mile track in this country because they're going away. You know, I did see that the Little Brown Jug is getting to be $1 million purse this year.
That's
you know,
awesome.
isn't that great?
It is.
A county fair race going for $1 million.
It's you know, what they've got out there. It's something really special, and you know, it's just it's great to see that again. That you don't have to be at a major city. You can have something like that at a county fair in Ohio and have a ton of success.
And the people show up for it. You know, they line the fence, so you know it pumps so much into that region. And it's the same way with the Gold Cup and Saucer up in Canada. You follow that up in PEI, Prince Edward Isle.
I've heard about it a little bit, but I haven't.
Ask Marcus Miller. Marcus Miller will tell you all about it. He went up one year and just had a blast. So it's the same kind of atmosphere. But yeah, you're right. The county fair racing is really where you can't get away from it. If you do, you end up back here.
Yeah.
You know, with one or two. So are you looking forward to any races this at the state fair? Any horses that you kind of got your eye on? You kind of.
We are. We own a 2-year-old filly, Fox Valley Tasha, and you know she's been first or second, probably 5 out of her 7 races this year. She's really seems to be peaking at the right time. You know, it's all about managing the horses. Kevin Miller, you know, he trains our horses here in Illinois, and he's done a great job with her and a lot of her other ones, and we're excited to watch Fox Valley Tasha.
You know, it's going to be a long season though, so you got to keep that form all the way through November or something.
It
so
is. It's just kind of getting started, right?
It is. That's what I keep telling Steve. I said our season with harness tubes kind of winding down. You know, we're rolling in the last few fairs, but really as a horseman, it's just now getting hot.
Yeah, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. The way that the season's set up, you know, it started I think at the end of May.
Yeah.
And then it'll go. I think Hawthorne goes right till the end of November.
End of the year. I think that we're supposed to be back there first of the year too. Hopefully, maybe,
awesome.
and keep that meet moving. Kind of butt up the 24 meet to it. So we'll see how that plays. But I don't know if we have the horses. I hadn't been paying attention. Has Steve been paying attention? Are we calling the post, or are we good on time? Okay, so we have some time yet.
Yeah.
So tell me, have you always had horses here? They bring horses back in with Dave and Kevin moving to this? I don't remember.
So the situation is, I know horses. We had horses in Springfield with Rick Schrock, and we've had some horses in Indiana with Peter Wren and
Pete Melanie.
Yeah. So Kevin, he has the bulk of our horses. And Kevin and I actually lease the barns on the fairgrounds.
I was reading one of these articles. Yeah. You guys are leasing them and taking care of the maintenance yourself and stuff.
So we do. We lease the barns on the fairgrounds. We help maintain the track, and this is kind of our home base.
Wow.
And then we buy Illinois breds, we buy Indiana breds, we buy Ohio breds, we buy New York breds, train them here, and then keep the Illinois breds here. And then send the others to where they fit, where they're bred, and the races are.
Well, I'm hearing the call to post, but as an Illinois horseman, Brian, I appreciate all your involvement, everything you've done for this fair, for the races. It's been awesome.
Thank you. We appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll pass the headset back over to Steve.
The Illini circuit. 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace, VFW Post 630, the blanket sponsor. We appreciate both the VFW Post and the auxiliary post for their support of racing at the Champaign County Fair. Number 1 is Michelle's Girl Crush, owned by David and Adam Brooks of Cambridge, trained by David Brooks, Richard Finn in the bike. 2 Vertical Speed is owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Brian Lohman of Broadlands, Bert Hartsprung of Elburn, and also Daryl Miller of Arthur, trained by Kevin Miller, Wyatt Abinetti in the bike. And number 3, Dandy's Ladies Man, is owned by Chase Porter of DuQuoin, trained by Denarius Dortch, and Denarius is the driver. Heard that great reminder. That was an excellent reminder from our MC that in race number 11, the pick-a-winner will be based on an exacta, where you must pick the first and second place finishers in exact order. And that $100, by the way, is courtesy of Daryl Miller, who is one of the owners who has a horse competing here in race 10. Daryl, the co-owner of number 2 Vertical Speed, and again, Daryl, the individual who has offered up the $100 for that exacta in race number 11. Horses are approaching the starting gate. In fact, they're turning to the gate over on the back straightaway. and getting ready to go here in the 10th of our 11 races as we now reach 8:48 p.m. local Central Time. Folks, thank you again for spending your Tuesday night with us at the Champaign County Fair. Race 10 is at the post, the gates rolling, and race 11 on the way. We were just talking on the infield here with some folks about collecting antiques. Don't know how many of you are antique collectors, but a few years ago at the Illinois State Fair, someone entered a handheld fan with an image of Teddy Roosevelt on it from Teddy Roosevelt's visit to the Illinois State Fair back when he was president. The thing that makes that piece rare, Teddy never made the visit. There was a railroad strike, and he couldn't get out of Washington, D.C., so if you've got one of those handheld fans, that's got to be a very rare piece of presidential memorabilia. All right, here they come, race 10. They are off and pacing. And there goes a beautiful start for these three juvenile pacers in the Illini Stakes. They're all on even terms as they head all the way down to the first turn. Now, Michelle's Girl Crush will benefit from starting along the inside lane of the racetrack and will save ground around the first turn. So Michelle's Girl Crush has the early lead. Leads it now by a length as they head off the first turn. Dandy's Ladies Man goes second up on the outside, and then Vertical Speed as they race toward the quarter-mile mark. And there goes Dandy's Ladies Man. Now, was parked around the first turn and goes from third to second to the lead just before the quarter-mile mark. It is Dandy's Ladies Man who's on top. Dandy's Ladies Man leads it now by a length and a half. 33-2 for the opening quarter. 33-2 fifth seconds. And then Michelle's Girls Crush is racing in the second possession. And Michelle's Girl Crush will take a look toward the outside as they come on down to the half, but still back there in the second spot. And then Vertical Speed last to the 3. Here they come to the half in race number 10, the VFW Post 630 race. It is Dandy's Ladies Man, the leader. Michelle's Girl Crush is second up on the outside. And Vertical Speed just biding time right behind that front pair as they head back to the east end of the course. 103 for the first half mile, 103 flat. So Dandy's Ladies Man is the leader by 3/4 of a length. Michelle's Girl Crush is second up on the outside, and then comes Vertical Speed racing in third position as they head toward the 3/4 mile mark. Any one of these three could win it. A length and a half separates these three as they reach the midpoint of the back stretch. It is still Dandy's Ladies Man to the inside, Michelle's Girl Crush on the outside. They are the top two. Now they're on even terms as they hit the final turn, and they continue to go at it side by side, and Vertical Speed is third. 1:36 was the time at the 3/4 mile mark. 1 minute, 36 seconds as these three 2-year-old pacers in the Illini Stakes work their way off the final turn to the top of the stretch. All three in contention. Dandy's Ladies Man to the inside. Michelle's Girl Crush to the outside. Vertical Speed is trying to dive toward the inside lane. Vertical Speed trying to find room lane. What a finish! Vertical Speed got there. Vertical Speed got there. The three horses hit the wire, separated by a neck. What a move by driver Wyatt Avenetti. He started to go toward the outside, then he changed his mind and went toward the inside. He thought he had enough room. He did, and he came charging up the inside lane of the racetrack to win in 2:07.1. Vertical Speed, your winner by a neck with an incredible move down the stretch. Folks, have we seen some good racing tonight, or have we seen some good racing? Wow. We'll meet the winner of race 10 in a moment. Horsemen come to the track with our 11th and final race.
Close race there, David. Did you get down on how they finished?
I didn't. I got Wyatt winning. That was about it. I was trying to see.
I got it 2-1, but I don't know if it was 2-1-3.
It would have to be. It's only 3-horse race.
I know, 2-1-3.
I guess. I was watching Wyatt because I was nervous about him getting up the inside there, and there was going to be a room or not. And like Kurt was saying, he kind of shook Denarius a little bit. He kind of popped right and then came back left, put his feet up inside of him, inside of Denarius, and made room for himself. But wow, there wasn't a 16th of a mile there. He snuck out and shot up the inside and put his head in front. So huge mile.
I remember years ago when the play-by-play crew for Motor Racing Network covering the NASCAR Cup Series would have to vote at the end of the broadcast on the cool move of the race, and they would go around the track and have each announcer vote on what he thought was the coolest move. made by a particular driver in the course of a race, and it was sponsored by an antifreeze company, which is why they called it what they did. Well, I think if we were taking votes on the coolest move of the race tonight, that would certainly be a nominee, if not the winner. Because Wyatt Avenatti, folks, he did what harness drivers have to do. They've got to make split-second decisions. And those races unfold so quickly. And for those of us who have never driven in a harness race, we watch from the sidelines and we marvel at when a driver like Wyatt is coming off the final turn and he had a decision to make. Am I going to go to the far outside, or am I going to go to the inside lane? He knew he had room on the outside, but he knew he would lose ground with that left to right maneuver. So instead, he looked to his left and he made a split-second decision. I'm going to go up that inside lane, and that was the winning move. Came up the inside in the final 16th and just got there in time by a neck. How about a hand for Wyatt Avenatti and Vertical Speed? Kevin Miller, second training win on the night, second win as owner also. Of course, Kevin trains right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. There's the VFW Post 630 blanket. Owners Brian Lohman of Broadlands, Bert Hochsprung of Elburn, Daryl Miller of Arthur stands at the head of this horse. Daryl, as we mentioned, is our sponsor for the $100 coming up in race 11 for that exacta. And there's Queen Katie Landers and our little Miss Mackenzie Holes presenting the blanket. What a horse race and what a move. Congratulations to our winning connections here in race 10. I know that when you talk to those harness drivers, sometimes they will shake their heads when you ask them about some of those moves, and they will always say, yeah, when it works out and you win, you look like a superstar, and they will tell you it doesn't always work out that way. And it's just sometimes it's just a matter of old-fashioned luck when you make that decision whether that racetrack is going to open up for you or not. But tonight was one of those times where it worked. Full field rundown coming up in just a moment. Horsemen come to the track, race 11.
And I'll just say this,
And here is the full field rundown for that 10th race. From the top of the page, Michelle's Girl Crush was third. Vertical Speed was the winner, and Dandy's Ladies Man was the runner-up. The quarter, 33-2. The half in 103. 3 quarters in 136. And the time for the mile was 2:07.1. Reads down 3:12. And again, 33-2 at the quarter, 103 at the half, 136 at the 3 quarters, 2:07.1 the time for the mile. First career purse victory for Vertical Speed, a 2-year-old gelded son of Stevensville out of Let's Go BB by Don't Get in My Way, bred by the Victory Lane Standard Breds of Arthur.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Own a little and love it.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get ready to go for race number 11, last and final race of the evening. And no driver changes that I know of in this. But let's go back here in a moment and take a look at what's coming up and talk to people about what's coming up as far as Harness Tube is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a look at the schedule.
Revisit our
look
schedule.
at my side to side here. Number one, you can't advertise with us, but
still can.
we're done here in Urbana. We go to Lincoln Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, we're hitting that kick, right? From the 30th of July to the 6th of August is going to be bam, bam, bam. But, yeah, we're going right from here to Lincoln on Sunday, Monday, 1:30 post time. Then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are down in Charleston, which there is a twilight racing on the 2nd. We will race at 5:30 post time p.m. Back the 3rd and 4th at 12:30. We finish up the season at our Mount Sterling races there in Brown County, August 5th and 6th, 2 o'clock post time.
Yep, and we're hoping for some cooler weather by then, but we've got that racing going on for you during that time. Again, if you'd like to get on the 2024 schedule, get with David Brink. We were already talking with Champaign here, the Champaign County Fair, and several fairs that already want us back, so the schedule is getting busy already. You might want to make the phone call and get your dates reserved. We know we've had a couple of towns call last minute. We weren't able to connect with that. Now, you know, you need to call in and get on the schedule for next year.
And if we do a little more, on my end, if I do a little more planning ahead of time, we can kind of talk to people and make sure that we're getting coverage where we want it and where people want to be, want us really. So where the fans are requesting we go and where the fair boards are requesting we go, we'll try to fit as many of those as we can in the season.
I have to say, tonight's track, I was worried about because Lisa and I have grandkids, and our son lives over here, and our daughter-in-law, and we drove past here, and I drove around the track at car level, and I was really worried about the view we would have tonight. And I have to honestly say,
it's been fantastic.
Other than maybe Carrollton's view where we were up in the stand above, this has been a great view. Yes, we've got posts and we got things that we have to deal with, but we have less obstruction here.
The posts are just in passing, right? You know, there's a little bit of focus in and out. Sometimes it gets lost, but you scan past the post, you kind of lose it. You're focused on the horse, and we've had a great view this track. Really, really happy with it. I thought maybe that backstretch would be a little rough, that brick, that K brick going up there, but no, the horses pop up right over it, so we're very fortunate.
And the other thing, you know, that I've noticed is the ambulance has had its lights on this whole time. I was surprised that it wouldn't distract the horse. But Kurt was talking about
I guarantee they want that diesel on so they can have the AC running.
The move of the night.
Yeah.
The best move of the night. If you're a NASCAR fan, he referred to NASCAR and MRN Network. I want to know what he thought of the Denny Hamlin bad move of the night. I'd never seen somebody since Kyle Busch get booed so much after the race was over this last week on the move he made on Kyle Larson. So that would be my.
I didn't see it, but I'm sure Kurt has an opinion.
My black flag of the week belongs there, but that was a great move by Wyatt Avenatti.
The horsemen appreciate it when you come out to the fair and cheer them on. It's been great to have you with us here this evening. Horsemen, we know that a lot of fairs are racing this week. Edgar County at Paris raced last night. This evening they are also racing at the Fulton County Fair at Lewiston. And, of course, there are races on Thursday and Friday at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. So it's a very busy week, and we appreciate your choosing to race with us here at the Champaign County Fair. The Harvey Rice Memorial, Race 11, the Illini Colt Stakes, 3-year-old colt and gelding pace. No changes. Let's meet the starters. Number 1, Brian's Rockin' Dog, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City, trained by Freddie Patton Jr., Denarius Dortch in the bike. Number 2 is Some Stars Shine Brighter, owned by Jody Peacock of Cantrell, Brady Schrock of Cantrell, trained and driven by Brady's father, Rick Schrock. And number 3, Foxman, owned by Brian Lohman of Broadlands, Kevin Miller of Arthur, trained by Kevin Miller. Wyatt Avenatti is in the race bike. Headed to the gate for our 11th and final race. Again, horsemen, if you would please return your saddle pads to the area where you picked them up earlier today near the racing office. Training doubles tonight for Roshan Trigg, Jill Brown, Kevin Miller. Driving doubles for Richard Finn, Freddie Patton Jr., Chris Brown. And again, a pair of track record performances here this evening. The all-age pace, 157 flat by Fox Valley B. Gump, who trains for Kevin Miller right here at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. Richard Finn had that winning drive. And then also in race 4, we had the all-age trotting track record broken here this evening. And that was 159-4. Swan of Dreams, trained by David Brooks, driven by Richard Finn for the Ham Family Trust of Missouri. By the way, that makes for quite a night. That's incredible. I don't think, even today, even though as fast as harness horses go, I don't think a lot of fairs have, in Illinois anyway, have a trotting track record of 2 minutes or faster. I think Jasper County at Newton has a trotting track record in 2 minutes or faster. Cumberland County at Greenup, Effingham County at Altamont, now here at Champaign County. So we've named, what, 4? You get past those 4 in the list, probably Brown County at Mount Sterling, I'm going to guess. Seems like they had a sub 2 minute mile there. So, okay, 5 that we can name off the top of our head statewide. That's a pretty limited number when you can count them on one hand. So this racetrack just sharp and fast here tonight. That's been fantastic. Made for some good racing miles. And it does make a difference. Our presiding judge noting that when you have a horseman's colony that is stable at a fairgrounds and trains there year-round, keeps the racetrack conditioned year-round, that helps tremendously. That is for sure. And we are fortunate to have folks who train here on a year-round basis at the Champaign County Fairgrounds. Our final race at the post. Gate is rolling. As we go to the post, folks, again, thanks on behalf of Bill and Marty, Alanya, and Brian Lohman, Linda Allhands. Thanks on behalf of the whole racing office. Thanks to Leanne Shin and Tom Shin as well. Denise Titus has been our photo finish technician. Randy Callahan, our presiding judge. Mitch Titus, our starter. And thank you, the race fans. Been great to have you with us tonight at the Champaign County Fair. Here they come. Final race. Off and pacing they go, and there goes Foxman right out for the early lead. Foxman fires out and goes to the front. Some Stars Shine Brighter had to move from left and right at the back of the pack to try to find some more racing room. Didn't want to get jammed up behind Brian's Rockin' Dog, and now they all straighten out nose to tail around the first turn. Foxman is the leader. Foxman leads it by just a length. Brian's Rockin' Dog in good position right behind the leader in second, and now Some Stars Shine Brighter drops out to the back of the pack in third position as they head up the back straightaway toward the quarter-mile mark. It is Foxman who shows the way. Foxman leads it by a length. Brian's Rockin' Dog is right there drafting behind the leader in second, and Some Stars Shine Brighter is a close third as they work their way past the quarter. 34 and 2 was the time for that first quarter mile, 34 and 2/5 seconds. It is Foxman as driver Wyatt Avenatti teams up again with trainer Kevin Miller, trying to go back-to-back. That driver-trainer combination to close out the card. Foxman leads it coming toward the half-mile mark by a length and a half to Brian's Rockin' Dog, another length and a half to Some Stars Shine Brighter. 1 lap to go in our final race of the program, and it is Foxman leading in the Harvey Rice Memorial, on top by a length and a half as they head back to the east end of the course. 105 and 4 for the first half mile, 105 and 4/5. It is Brian's Rockin' Dog in second, Some Stars Shine Brighter in third position. So 105 and 4, a leisurely pace off that half-mile mark, and that means Foxman might be a handful, should have plenty of energy left off the front half in a very controlled 105 and 4. Here's Some Stars Shines Brighter, though. Some Stars Shine Brighter moving up the inside. Brian's Rockin' Dog for second. In the meantime, Foxman opens up on a 2-length lead as they hit the final turn. 1:38, the time at the 3/4 mile mark, 1 minute 38 seconds. It is Foxman who shows the way. Foxman trying to lead every step of the way. Has the advantage off the final turn, leads it by 2 lengths. Some Stars Shine Brighter second. Brian's Rockin' Dog is a wide third. It is Foxman in front. It is Foxman to win the Harvey Rice Memorial, taking this Illini 3-year-old Colden Gelding pace, and he opened up to win it by 4 lengths on the line. After that, it was Some Stars Shine Brighter in second position, and Brian's Rockin' Dog was third. So it will be a driving double for Wyatt Avenatti on the card. He wins the final 2 races. Kevin Miller will lead all trainers with a training triple here tonight. 2:05 and 4, the time for the mile. In that 11th and final race, 2:05 and 4, Foxman your winner, and we'll meet the winner, and we will have that exacta result for you pick-a-winner players here in just a moment.
Well, David, exciting racing tonight from Urbana, from the Champaign County Fair, and it's been a great evening.
So if you were playing the exacta, trying to win that $100 in race 11, you needed to pick number 3 Foxman. You needed to pick number 3 Foxman as the winner, and you needed to pick number 2 Some Stars Shine Brighter, finishing second. Number 3 Foxman was your winner, And number 2, Some Stars Shine Brighter, was second. So that is the exacta in this final race. And hopefully we'll find someone who picked correctly and will take home that $100. Back-to-back winners to close out the card. Owned in part by Brian Lohman of Broadlands and owned also by Kevin Miller. That's 2 winners tonight for Brian as owner. That is 3 winners tonight for Kevin Miller as owner. That is 3 winners for Kevin Miller as trainer. And that is back-to-back wins for Wyatt Avenatti.
So any final thoughts
Fair
here,
enough.
David, before Kurt gets...
Brian Lohman has reminded us that he will be up in the stands, folks. Sit tight. He'll be up in the stands to take a look through that Pick a Winner bucket and pull a name, hopefully, of someone who picked that exacta correctly. So sit tight for that $100. Brian's got to take care of a winner's circle photo first, being one of the owners of Foxman, who has just won this final race on the card in memory of longtime Champaign County-based horseman Harvey Rice. How about a hand for number 3, Foxman?
Well, David, that...
In front of us, Foxman, a 3-year-old gelded son of Major Bombay out of Gladstone Ruby Girl by Western Hanover. 205 and 4.
Well, I'm going to turn Kurt's mic off. Spirited horse there that didn't want his picture taken.
No, he didn't really want to stop there. They got one head pull. Looked like it kind of came apart. The head pull was flopping around, and that sometimes would scare the horse if the front part comes undone and the back part's kind of hanging there, flopping around their neck. But they're going to get him turned around.
They're still going to try. Any final thoughts here?
Final thoughts, yeah. You know, we come here thinking we had 2 days or 2 fairs going on the same day. We weren't sure what to expect. We got a couple short fields, but wow. We've had a pacing track record, a trotting track record. I've had
3 photo finishes
in 3 horse fields.
Yeah,
you know, 3 or 4 horse fields that are going in photo finishes. So don't write anything off just because it looks like it might be a little boring race or something. I think it's always exciting.
I think we had a couple of races that were plus 18 to 30 lengths.
Yeah.
But you're going to have those. You're going to have nights, and
those
were a race that we had horses go off stride and they never made up the ground because they were off stride.
Even if we have 7 horses in a race, you can still be strung out that far. It just kind of, but yeah, what a great night of racing. Kudos to everyone here. Bill Alanya, Marty Alanya, Kevin Miller, Dave Avenatti, Wyatt Avenatti, Brian Lohman, Linda Allhands, Kurt Becker, Randy Callahan, Daryl Miller, I'm just throwing out names, Leanne and Tom Shin, everyone. Fantastic racing.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And a fantastic facility, and they've treated us great.
Taking care of us.
And so with that, we're going to say goodbye, good night, God bless, as we got to pack up the car and drive 3 hours home. So thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll be back on the air Sunday